Today's parent-child activity was initially just to accompany my daughter. Unexpectedly, when it was lunchtime, the dishes I made shocked everyone. The shiny twice-cooked pork and the fragrant chicken wings were served on the table. The children couldn't stop eating, and the parents exclaimed in amazement. Even many mothers of these children took out their phones and wanted to add me on WeChat. His ex-wife Xiao Feifei, who was sitting next to him, was so angry that her face looked as ugly as if she had eaten a pound of lemons. But how could she know? My daily income from selling food on the street easily crushes the net profit of the hotels in the city. Even my ex-father-in-law, who once advised me to work more steadily, now wants to invite me back to be his partner. But life is not just about making money. Even if setting up a stall is as popular as a live broadcast by an internet celebrity, I just want to live a simple life with my 3-year-old daughter. But when will those people who are flirting with me let me go? Dad, I'm a little hungry. The little guy Su Enoa looked up at me, his eyes full of expectation. The selection activity was too long, and the child could no longer hold on. Although I ate some dishes during that period, except for a few that I could eat normally, most of the others were dark dishes, especially the bowl of mashed potatoes eaten by Zhang Xingxing's father. However, there are exceptions, such as the Sichuan spicy chicken made by Yaya's mother. It is truly a must-try dish, with each piece of chicken spicy and flavorful, making people feel very satisfied after eating it. In comparison, the works of other parents, even if they did not fail, tasted mediocre and seemed to have no sense of existence. Yaya's mother is not only an excellent cook, but also very generous. She took the initiative to greet me. Nono's father, eat a few more pieces, taste the flavor, and help comment on it. To be honest, the spicy chicken she made was so good that I couldn't help but eat a few more bites. But it was obvious that Xiao Feifei was unhappy. Her eyes showed the word hostility. She stared at the interaction between me and Yaya's mother with a cold look, especially when Yaya's mother used the name of Cooking Exchange to get close to me. Feifei's face turned black. What's more important is that Yaya's mother actually said directly, "Nono's father, can I add you on WeChat?" Before I could react, she took out her mobile phone and looked at me with a smile on her face. I had no choice but to nod in agreement. After all, the children were friends, and as a parent, it was normal to add contact information. Besides, she was indeed worthy of respect. After we added each other on WeChat, I casually praised her. "Yaya's mom, your cooking is really great. This award today belongs to you." After hearing this, Yaya's mom smiled even more happily. The light in her eyes showed that she had returned to her teenage state of mind, as if she was 10 years younger. But my scalp was tingling, and I was thinking, if Yaya's father knew about this, he would definitely come back and kill me. As soon as Yaya's mother left, Xiao Nua came over and pulled Xiao Feifei's hand, tilting her head and asked, "Mom, what's wrong with you? You don't look happy." Xiao Nua thought her mother was depressed because her cooking skills were not as good as Yaya's mother's, so she immediately started to coax her. "Mom, your twice-cooked pork is so good, even better than the spicy chicken." "Nonsense." Xiao Feifei rolled her eyes at her. Although she had only tasted a bite of the spicy chicken just now, the difference in taste was as great as heaven and earth. "Nunuo, didn't you say you were hungry?" I patted her little head and pointed to the rice cooker. "The rice is ready. Eat it quickly with Mom's twice-cooked pork." "Really? Do you really want to eat it?" When Xiao Nua heard this, his expression instantly became complicated, as if he was going through some huge psychological struggle. The rice I cooked was fine, fragrant and soft. Xiao Nua always loved it, but the problem was that he couldn't get full just by eating rice. But if you eat it with Xiao Feifei's twice-cooked pork, I can imagine the scene. It's too cruel. Twice-cooked pork is not only terribly greasy, but also very salty. It's deadly. Xiao Nua struggled for a long time and finally cried out with a sad face, "Mom, I'm only 3 years old." That voice was full of helplessness and despair. Question mark. Xiao Feifei was confused. "What's wrong with you being 3 years old?" Obviously, she had no idea how lethal the dish of twice-cooked pork she made was. "Didn't you just say that the twice-cooked pork your mother makes is the most delicious in the world?" I teased the little guy half-jokingly, and Xiao Nua suddenly became very anxious. "I was just praising you casually. Do you really want me to eat it?" She looked helpless and had obviously prepared herself for a psychological struggle. "It's the first time Mom cooks. Don't you support her?" Xiao Feifei kept pestering, looking like she was too embarrassed to save face. "Mom, I can support you spiritually." Xiao Nua blinked. trying to get away with it. No, I still need your physical support. Hurry up and eat all the twice-cooked pork. Xiao Feifei stood with her hands on her hips, looking irresistible. Xiao Nuo knelt down and begged for mercy. Mom, I'm only 3 years old. My good life has not yet begun, and I will have to take care of you in the future. We both couldn't help laughing out loud. We were just teasing her, but it would be too cruel to let this little girl eat this plate of salty twice-cooked pork. Okay, don't make things difficult for the kid. I'll think of a solution. I shook my head, looked at the greasy twice-cooked pork on the plate, and sighed secretly. Xiao Feifei shrugged and simply pushed the blame to me. The meaning was obvious. It's up to you. I cleaned the pot and reheated the oil, preparing to improve this failed twice-cooked pork. As soon as I heated it, the sizzling sound of the oil attracted the attention of those around me. Yaya's mother came over first, her eyes shining. Sui Nua's father has taken action. The other parents also gathered around, looking at me expectantly. I rolled up my sleeves, gently shook the pan, and watched the oil in the pan flow out like a stream, shocking everyone. So much oil. Oh my god, Xiao Feifei, you are so rich. Someone teased, making Feifei blush. With this little bit of oil, it should be enough to cook a dozen dishes, right? Someone else started to make fun of me. I smiled and didn't respond, concentrating on cooking in the pan. I took a bite of the original twice-cooked pork, and it was so salty that it tasted bitter, and the meat was soft and had no texture. If I forced myself to eat it, I would be nauseated. I first threw some minced garlic into the pan to stir-fry, then put the meat slices back into the pan, turned on high heat, and stir-fry quickly, and the oil pan ignited the flames in an instant. The children nearby saw the flames and shouted excitedly. Sui Nua's father is a ninja. He knows fire escape ninjutsu. No, he ate the flame fruit. Another child immediately retorted, and the two sides started arguing. I ignored them and continued to stir the spoon, my hands moving faster and faster. I added some sugar and sweet noodle sauce, and then added some water to dilute the saltiness. In order to remove the excess oil, I added king oyster mushrooms to absorb the oil, and the smell of the whole pot instantly became fragrant. Yaya's mother said with admiration, "So that's how it is, using king oyster mushroom to absorb oil. That's great." The other parents were confused. After a while, the meat slices began to turn an attractive red sauce color, and the aroma spread. I finished by flipping the spoon a few times and putting the whole dish back on the plate. The twice-cooked pork was finally transformed. Okay, you guys try it? I handed the plate to Feifei and Xiaonua and looked at them expectantly. Xiaonua smelled the fragrance. Her eyes lit up instantly, and she couldn't wait to pick up a piece of meat and put it in her mouth. After chewing a few times, her eyes widened. Hey, is this the twice-cooked pork made by Mom? Why is it so delicious? Xiao Nua's mouth was full of oil, and his face was full of surprise. This is not twice-cooked pork. This is divine meat. Xiao Nua exclaimed as he ate, his tone full of admiration. Although the taste is a little different from what I usually make after the improvement, it is completely different from the original salty bomb. After taking a bite, Xiao Feifei pouted and said nothing, but I couldn't help but smile in my heart when I saw her picking up piece after piece. Sure enough, the salvation of my cooking skills still depends on me. Nunuo, remember to blow it. Be careful of the heat, I reminded the little one, watching her eat the freshly cooked pork with a satisfied look on her face. Got it, she nodded, picked up another piece of meat, blew on it gently with her pouting lips, and then went down with big mouthfuls. Seeing that she was eating happily, I also served her and Xiao Feifei a bowl of rice each and cleaned up the pot. Don't you want to eat? Xiao Feifei looked up at me, and there seemed to be a hint of concern in her tone. You guys eat first, I'll make some scrambled eggs with tomatoes. I replied indifferently. One dish was obviously not enough, so I had to add some more. Tomatoes and eggs were ready. I skillfully beat a few eggs and stirred them well. A few minutes later, a plate of delicious scrambled eggs with tomatoes was ready. As the fragrance wafted out, the whole classroom became quiet, and the students and parents all turned their heads and stared at me. What kind of fried tomato and eggs is this? How can it smell so good? Someone couldn't help but mutter in a low voice, and even Yaya's mother's look changed. This man can even make scrambled eggs with tomatoes like this. He's simply too good. Her eyes were full of admiration and curiosity. Mom, why do you always look at Nono's dad? Little Yaya stared with her big eyes, looking puzzled. Well, Mom is a chef, so naturally I'm curious about people who can cook. Yaya's mother quickly covered up. Yaya nodded and continued to eat the spicy chicken. And as soon as I put the scrambled eggs with tomatoes on the table, Xiaonua's chopsticks had already poked at it impatiently. Dad, the scrambled eggs with tomatoes you made are so delicious. She stuffed her mouth with eggs and praised incoherently while chewing. Xiao Feifei smiled helplessly, seeming a little unconvinced, and took another piece of twice-cooked pork and tasted it. Isn't this delicious? Seeing her expression, I didn't point it out to her. After all, she should know in her heart who saved this dish of twice-cooked pork in front of her. Parents and students from other family groups in the classroom were extremely envious. They couldn't even eat the dark food on their tables. Finally, a parent couldn't hold it in any longer and asked Teacher Zhang Qian, Teacher Zhang, how are we going to have lunch? Teacher Zhang's face felt a little hot. She had originally planned to use today's activity to have lunch, but she didn't expect the situation to turn out like this. I'm really sorry. I've asked the cafeteria kitchen to prepare it, but it may take another hour to be ready. Hearing this, many people in the classroom couldn't help but roll their eyes. In this case, 1 hour? It's definitely a conservative estimate. In particular, some families had not yet had their meals, but our family of 3 was enjoying our meal. The aroma of the scrambled eggs with tomatoes alone made many people drool. Little Zhang, Xingxing even started biting his own fingers, looking a bit pitiful. Nono's father, can we discuss something? Zhang Xingxing's father stood up with a smile on his face and a humble look. What's the matter? I put down my chopsticks and turned to look at him. It's like this. He scratched his head, looking modest. I seldom go into the kitchen. Well, I hardly ever go into the kitchen. Is there any hope for our mashed potatoes? He pointed at the plate of black and brown mashed potatoes, and his tone was full of requests. Can you help change it? We don't ask for it to taste good, as long as it's edible. Seeing him fold his hands, as if he was going to become my disciple, I almost couldn't help laughing. He was really hungry. To be honest, Zhang Xingxing's father was really desperate this time. After all, the dark dish was made by himself, and he himself couldn't eat it. As for Zhang Xingxing's mother, she never touches the kitchen. She's lucky enough to go shopping and get her hair done. I took a look at the plate of mashed potatoes and felt helpless. Not only could I not save it, I couldn't even muster the courage to deal with it. Zhang Xingxing's father. I sighed. To be honest, even a god can't save this thing. Zhang Xingxing, do you want to come over and eat with us? Xiao Nuo looked at Zhang Xingxing, who was staring at the 2 dishes on the table, and asked him while picking up some food. Yeah. Zhang Xingxing nodded repeatedly, and immediately ran to his father and said, Dad, I want to go to Su Inua's house for dinner. Xiao Nuo also tugged at the corner of my clothes, blinked his eyes, and asked, Dad, can Zhang Xingxing come to our house for dinner? Of course. I smiled and nodded, and served Zhang Xingxing a bowl of white rice. He took the rice, his eyes sparkling with joy. Thank you, Uncle Su. He thanked him, sat down immediately, and began to scoop the tomato scrambled eggs soup onto the rice. It was obvious that the child was ravenous. Zhang Xingxing's father stood there in a daze, watching his son rebel without hesitation and go to someone else's dinner table, with mixed emotions on his face. He hesitated for a moment, touched his stomach, and thought about going over to get some food. But when he looked over, the food on the table was almost gone. It smells so good. He swallowed his saliva as he watched his son eating with relish, but he could only stand by and starve. There were still many children from family groups in the classroom who had not eaten, and many of them involuntarily leaned towards our table. Apparently, the aroma of my cooking has become a traditional attraction in their kindergarten. Every time I bring lunch to Xiao Nuo, a group of greedy children will gather around her. Usually, the children in the class try their best to please Xiao Nuo, hoping to have a taste of her delicious food at lunch. Today, I cooked for them myself, which made them drool. But there were too few dishes today. Xiao Nuo and Zhang Xingxing had almost finished 2 plates of food, and there was not enough for the other children to share. Teacher Zhang, how long will we have to wait for lunch? A parent couldn't help but ask. Teacher Zhang Qian seemed very embarrassed and quickly explained. The kitchen is preparing it, but there are too many people. It will probably take an hour. An hour? The parents' faces immediately fell, and the children began to complain. Just when everyone was almost losing their temper with hunger, the auntie in the kitchen finally brought out a large bowl of white rice, but without any side dishes. Dear parents, I'm sorry. It's too hasty. Please eat some rice first. As soon as the aunt said this, everyone in the audience was stunned. Just eating white rice? Who can stand this? Before some parents even opened their mouths, the children had already started to pout in protest. The aunt in the kitchen looked at our table and locked her eyes on me. How about Su Inua's father? Can you come to the kitchen to help? The parents around immediately echoed. Yes, Su Inua's father is so good at cooking. Go and help. Yaya's mom is also good at cooking. How about helping someone at it? One child even shouted, I want to eat Uncle Su's twice-cooked pork. I also want to eat spicy chicken. After being called by so many people, I couldn't pretend I didn't hear it anymore. I looked up at Xiao Feifei, and she had a mischievous smile on her face. It seems you are quite popular. She teased, smiling rarely. You know, I've always been a favorite of middle-aged and elderly women and children. I shrugged indifferently, stood up, and prepared to go to the kitchen to help. Yaya's mother was reluctant to go at first, but when she saw me standing up, she expressed her willingness to help and cook a few dishes together. Xiao Feifei looked at the scene coldly, but there was some unspeakable emotion in her eyes. Xiao Nuo took my hand and said, Dad, can you make me something delicious? I rubbed her little head and said with a smile, Of course, Dad will go make something more delicious for you. After that, I walked towards the kitchen. The most excited people at this moment are probably the kitchen aunt and Yaya's mother. In the kitchen, the clashing sounds of pots and pans could be heard one after another, accompanied by the sizzling sound of frying. If you didn't know, you would think they were filming a food show. There were obviously only 3 people, 1 man and 2 women, one of whom was a kitchen aunt who was almost 40 years old, but they actually made such a big noise. Yaya and Xiaonua in the classroom were full of anticipation, and their eyes lit up at the thought of being able to eat their father's cooking again. Yaya's father had just come out of the bathroom. When he heard that his ex-wife was cooking with another man in the kitchen, his face instantly turned ugly. Although we are divorced, you cook with others in front of me. Isn't this too much? Yaya's father felt bitter, but he couldn't get angry. Helplessly, he chose to keep it to himself, thinking that he would talk to his secretary when he got home to cool down his anger. After all, he was very professional in training young people. In less than half an hour, the aunt in the kitchen brought out dishes with satisfaction. Jiawei twice-cooked pork, fried eggplant, scrambled eggs with tomatoes, spicy chicken, boiled pork slices, hot and sour potato shreds. When these dishes were placed on the table, the classroom was instantly filled with exclamations from the children and parents, and everyone's eyes were filled with excitement. Xiao Feifei's eyes remained on the face of the aunt in the kitchen. No, it's just cooking a dish. Is it necessary to show such a satisfied expression? She really didn't understand. Su Inua's dad is so awesome. The aunt in the kitchen smiled with a flushed face, praising Su Yang's cooking skills, and almost forgot that she said it herself. She just tasted the food, calling it a tasting, and almost want to get a bowl of rice to go with it. Su Yang's cooking skills were truly impressive. The aroma on the table filled the air, and the children couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Some parents even joked, "Just smelling this smell can make me eat 2 more bowls of rice." Xiaonua has already picked up the chopsticks and obediently picked up a piece of stir-fried pork with green pepper and put it in her mouth. "Let's eat together," her soft and sticky voice suddenly made the atmosphere lively. Although the adults were already impatient, they pretended to be calm and took their time picking up the food. But when they took the first bite, all the pretense collapsed instantly. The classroom suddenly became eerily quiet, with only the sounds of the children chewing. The aroma of the dishes filled the air, as if the god of food had descended. Xiao Feifei couldn't help but sigh as she watched this scene. Su Yang's cooking skills were indeed quite something. The saying "it's hard to please everyone" was just a joke in front of real cooking skills. Even the pickiest kids started to eat the stir-fried pork and green peppers obediently. They even ate the green peppers with relish, with happiness written all over their faces. "Why are the green peppers cooked by Uncle so delicious? They are more fragrant than meat," a little child exclaimed while holding the bowl, and the parents next to him were amused and helpless. Teacher Zhang Qian also took a portion of rice and was very happy. She had been thinking about Su Yang's cooking skills for a long time, and today she could finally enjoy a feast. Soon, the big bowl of rice in the classroom was eaten up, and the children raised their empty bowls one after another and asked, "Annie, is there any more rice?" Yes, plenty of rice." The kitchen Annie smiled and brought out another bowl of steaming hot rice. Over here, Su Yang had already cooked 8 more dishes. Yaya's mother was demoted from the chef to an assistant, but the two of them worked together perfectly and had a tacit understanding. She only needed to look at him, and she knew what to prepare. This kind of tacit understanding was originally unique to Xiao Feifei, but now it was fully demonstrated by Yaya's mother. Even Xiao Feifei couldn't help but frown when she saw it. "Nunuo, are you not full yet?" I rubbed the little guy's head and said with a smile, "Dad will make you something better." Then I turned and walked towards the kitchen. Xiao Nua's face was full of joy, and she kept saying, "Dad's cooking is the most delicious." What she didn't know was that the aunt in the kitchen and Yaya's mother were even happier than her. Braised chicken, sweet and sour pork tenderloin, chicken wings, cucumber and beans, ants climbing a tree. I complete each dish easily with just a few strokes of a knife. Although these dishes are not in my system recipes, with my cooking skills, controlling the heat and knife skills are no problem at all. The dishes they cooked may not get full marks, but they are at least above 9.8 points, which is enough to satisfy the appetites of these parents and teachers. Although Yaya's father looked unhappy, after all, his ex-wife was cooking with me, but he couldn't stop picking up food. He usually either eats in a hotel or has a full-time chef at home, and he has long been tired of eating delicacies from land and sea. But today, my food made him completely unable to control himself. He ate 5 bowls of rice cleanly. If the dark cuisine I made wasn't so terrible, it might not have highlighted how divine my dishes were. Little Yaya's situation was similar. Although she had just eaten spicy chicken, as soon as she saw the royal chicken wings I made, her stomach miraculously became hungry again. Uncle's chicken wings are so delicious. She couldn't help but sigh as she ate the chicken wings, and even forgot her usual table manners. The parents and children in the classroom were completely shocked. They were scrambling for food like the disaster victims in ancient times who were suddenly given grain. Soon, all the dishes were eaten up, and even the soup at the bottom of the plates was scraped away by the children with spoons without leaving a drop. "No, you are saving detergent for the kindergarten." The auntie in the kitchen couldn't help but joke as she looked at the empty plates, but she couldn't help but reveal a satisfied smile on her face. Everyone ate until their bellies were full. They collapsed on their chairs, burping and praising. I haven't eaten so well in years. Su Yang's cooking skills are amazing. He can achieve this level without any high-quality ingredients, just relying on the common supplies in the kindergarten. I broke the record today. I ate 4 bowls of rice in one go. Who would have thought that I could eat like this in my 40s? The Imperial Concubine chicken wings are so damn delicious. Boss Su is at the state banquet level, right? It's such a waste to set up a stall for this level. Even Yaya's father couldn't help but secretly look at me, wondering if he could pay to have me at his home as a private chef. But he quickly gave up the idea. For someone like me, setting up a stall might just be my hobby. If I really wanted to take orders, I guess the queue would stretch from kindergarten to the bund. Moreover, the more he tasted my dishes, the more surprised he was because my ingredients were all from ordinary kindergarten kitchens. This makes me feel superior to those top chefs. They use top-notch ingredients, but I can achieve this level with ordinary ingredients. The more Yaya's father thought about it, the more frightened he became. He couldn't help but secretly look at Xiao Feifei again. He felt that this woman looked familiar, but he couldn't remember who she was. Suddenly, a name flashed through his mind. Xiao Feifei. Isn't this the president of Mingji International Hotel chain? The eldest daughter of the Qiao family. In the Shanghai catering industry, the Qiao family is one of the 3 giants. Although it is said that it is a bit declining now, he still understands the truth that a lean camel is bigger than a horse. And with a top chef like me by Xiao Feifei's side, as long as he is willing to invest, how can the Qiao family's hotels not be revived? When he thought of this, he couldn't help but feel lucky. Fortunately, I came to this event today, and fortunately my daughter and Su Inua have a good relationship. What's more, Yaya's mother and I have also cooked. Yaya's father secretly made up his mind. No matter what, he must maintain a good relationship in the future. Taking advantage of this former couple may be a good way. Chapter 219, Remarriage is Impossible. I can only set up a stall every day to make a living. After lunch, the originally planned parent-child activities were postponed for a while. The reason was simple. Everyone was too full to exercise immediately. After the nap, at around 2 p.m., the parent-child interactive games officially began, including Crab Race, 1-2-3 Wooden Man, and Fun Table Tennis. There was constant laughter in every session. Xiao Feifei smiled happily, which was rare. Compared with her usual cold appearance, she was much more relaxed today. This kind of activity that the whole family can participate in is really good. On the other side, Xiao Winshan called He Yongyan and said with a hint of complaint in his tone, "Old He, what are you doing? I can't get through on the phone, and I can't find anyone at the company." He Yongyan on the other end of the phone laughed and said casually, "My phone fell down, and I just replaced it." Huh? Xiao Winshan suppressed his anger and got straight to the point. "Okay, stop talking about those useless things. I want to ask you, what happened to the thing I asked you to pay attention to last time? What's the matter?" He Yongyan pretended to be confused. "Stop pretending. Let's talk about Feifei's ex-husband, Su Yang." Xiao Winshan's voice deepened. "Oh, that?" He Yongyan suddenly realized and then said with a hint of emotion, "Old Xiao, I've been watching him for several days and found that you don't need to worry about him." "What do you mean?" Xiao Winshan frowned. "Your ex-son-in-law's business is booming. I watched 10 videos on Douyin, and 3 of them were of him. There were more people lining up than in front of your hotel." Xiao Winshan was silent for a moment, then asked tentatively, "Is he unwilling to go to your side?" "It's not that he doesn't want to. It's that he doesn't need to do that at all." He Yongyan laughed out loud. "Old Xiao, let me tell you, Su Yang can make at least 10,000 or 20,000 yuan a day by setting up a stall. If he's lucky, 30,000 or 50,000 yuan won't be a problem." 30,000 or 50,000? Xiao Winshan raised his eyebrows and raised his voice a few notches. "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Old Xiao, I'm serious." He Yongyan paused, then began to introduce the details. He made 300 servings of fried beef noodles, 400 braised pork buns, and more than 200 cups of mung bean shaved ice in the morning. He made more than 9,000 yuan in revenue in the morning alone, and his net profit was at least 8,000 yuan. In the afternoon and evening, he sells twice-cooked pork, chicken tofu, and the new product, royal chicken wings. Each of these 3 items can sell more than 200 servings. Adding up, he can make 30,000 to 40,000 yuan a day. Xiao Winshan was stunned. This series of data was a bit too much for him to digest for a while. "Old Joe, this is just the result of his random stall. Do you know how popular he is? He sells out within 2 hours every day, and customers still line up every day to buy it." Xiao Winshan was silent on the other end of the phone. He thought Su Yang was just living on the streets, and even thought that setting up a stall was a disgrace to the Qiao family, but he didn't expect this kid to do so well. "Lao He, are you sure these are all true?" he said in a low voice, with mixed feelings. "It's absolutely true. I even ran over to see it several times. There were so many people, not to mention you. Even I think this kid's stall is more stable than your Qiao family's business." Xiao Winshan exhaled slowly, still a little unwilling. "Even so, setting up a stall is not decent after all. Wouldn't it be better if you let him join the company?" It will also be a guarantee for his and Fei Fei's child. Dignified? Old Xiao, let me tell you something unpleasant. The money Su Yang makes from his stall is higher than the profit of your Qiao family hotel. What kind of guarantee does he need from you? Xiao Winshan was completely silent. In fact, he did occasionally see Su Yang's short videos, but he always thought it was a personality created by paying for traffic and posing, and he didn't take it seriously at all. Now, after hearing what Yongyan said, he realized that Su Yang was completely serious about setting up a stall, and it had become a phenomenal existence. Xiao Winshan couldn't help rubbing his brows, trying to calm himself down. As a traditional entrepreneur, it was hard for him to accept that his former son-in-law had become famous by setting up stalls. Yongyan on the other end of the phone obviously had a gloating tone in his voice. Old Xiao, I think you should stop worrying. Su Yang is much more comfortable setting up a stall than working. Xiao Winshan gritted his teeth. Although he felt complicated, he knew that what Yongyan said was correct. However, he never expected that Xiao Feifei's decision would cause the Xiao family and Su Yang to miss such an opportunity. It's just a stall. Can he do it forever? Xiao Winshan finally asked stubbornly. Haha, old Joe, you have to ask Su Yang about this question yourself. He seems to be enjoying it more than anyone else. Yongyan laughed very happily. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Winshan was silent for a long time, feeling mixed emotions. He understood that if the Xiao family wanted to turn things around, they might have to find another chance from Su Yang. Chapter 220. Do you really think that I'm a very casual person when it comes to your daughter? Xiao Winshan and Yongyan, who have been in the business world for many years, have already understood many truths. They all know that the most difficult stage to make money is the initial accumulation, and it is only the beginning when you have the initial capital and channels. But Su Yang could actually make tens of millions of dollars a year by setting up a stall. This news made Xiao Winshan feel a little unbelievable. The net profit was over tens of millions, and just thinking about it shocked him. You know, many companies seem to have considerable cash flow, but in fact they have very little cash left. Many companies even make a loss and make a living by deceiving investors. It seems that the times are really different now. Xiao Winshan sighed. He realized that the world is now dominated by traffic and attention economy, and the rules have completely changed. He has also heard of examples of internet celebrities easily making tens of millions through live streaming and selling goods, but those people often rely on luck and hype, and their popularity is short-lived and difficult to sustain. Xiao Winshan is not optimistic about this. But Su Yang's situation is completely different. He relies on his cooking skills and the real taste of food. This ability is not only sustainable, but also improves over time. There was silence on the phone for a while, and Xiao Winshan sighed. Lao He, forget the favor I asked you to help with before. Tiske, I didn't expect that an old stubborn like you would also figure it out. Yongyan laughed, his tone revealing a hint of pride. But then again, Yongyan continued. Even if you don't cancel, I can't help you. Su Yang makes so much money selling things on the street. He definitely won't go work for some big company. Xiao Winshan was too lazy to respond, and instead teased. Okay, since you have so much free time, when can you buy me a few boxes of Su Yang's crystal cakes? Buy you a ghost. Yongyan couldn't help but curse, and just as he was about to explode, he heard the other end of the phone hang up. He laughed helplessly, but in his heart, he was thinking his own little calculations. Don't worry, old Xiao. Wait until my daughter gets Su Yang. Then you can have as many crystal cakes as you want. You'll be able to eat as much as you want at the wedding banquet. Yongyan felt secretly happy when he thought of this, and then he called his daughter. Hey Cece, how was your chat with Su Yang? Did you kiss? Before he could finish his words, he heard a choking cough from the other end. Dad, can you please stop talking nonsense? Chincy said speechlessly. I finally found an excuse to add him on WeChat, but after just a few words, he was so cold and aloof. Aloof? That's because you haven't tried hard enough. Yongyan's tone suddenly changed, and he became serious. Cece, you have to pay more attention. I'm counting on you to find a good man in my life. Dad, are you serious? Chincy was a little surprised. In her impression, Yongyan had never been so anxious. Of course, Su Yang is a handsome guy with good skills, and he is liked by so many people. Don't you think this is a great opportunity? Yongyan coaxed. Chincy was silent for a while, and the image of Su Yang appeared in his mind. He had to admit that Su Yang was indeed very attractive, with his handsome appearance, calm temperament, and amazing cooking skills. Dad, you said Xiao Feifei has been getting close to Su Yang recently. Is it possible that they will remarry? Chincy suddenly asked. Who knows? Yongyan snorted coldly, so you have to hurry up. Good men have always been a scarce resource. If you don't make a move now, you will have no chance. After hanging up the phone, Chincy stared at the phone for a while. Su Yang is not only an excellent man, but also a capable person, completely different from those rich second generations who are only superficial. Thinking of this, she picked up her phone and typed a WeChat message. Hello, Boss Su. Our company is interested in placing an order for meals. I wonder when you are free to chat. After sending it, she stared at the screen, feeling a little nervous. Chapter 221. Good men are a little more popular. Isn't it normal that they are hard to pursue? At around 4 p.m., the golden sunshine shone at the entrance of the kindergarten, and today's parent-child activities finally came to a successful conclusion. Both parents and children were still not satisfied and walked out of the classroom with smiles on their faces. The teacher prepared small rewards for each child. Although they were just small toys and candies, the children were very happy and as proud as stars receiving awards. Especially those children who have eaten my cooking, they even listed the day of the activity as the best day of the year. Some parents even took the initiative to suggest that the kindergarten should hold a parent-child activity once a month, and it would be best if I could be responsible for lunch. The scene at the kindergarten gate was also quite strange. A group of parents surrounded me, enthusiastically asking all kinds of cooking questions and vying to add me on WeChat. Dad Su Inua, why are the dishes you cook so delicious? My child is a very picky eater. Can you teach me some tips? Boss Su, I heard you set up a stall outside. Can you tell me where it is? I will definitely buy your food every day. Boss Su, I'm a single mother. Sometimes it's really hard to be alone. Do you think A parent stopped in the middle of the sentence, but the look in his eyes made people dare not think too much. I smiled awkwardly and didn't respond. Xiao Feifei next to me snorted coldly, her face looking rather unhappy. What's wrong with you being alone? Are you lonely and cold? She muttered softly. If you're cold, add more quilts. If you're lonely, buy toys. Don't you know how to do these? On the other hand, Xiao Nua has become the focus of the kindergarten children. The children stuffed all the snacks and toys in their hands to her, as if they were completing a tribute task every day. No, this robot is my favorite toy. Remember to give me some chicken wings next week. No, my request is not high. Just a piece of twice-cooked pork, okay? That's fat pot meat, Xiao Nua corrected. What's even more outrageous is that a kid leaned close to Xiao Nua's ear and whispered, No, I'll give you my dad's car, and you ask your dad to bring me lunch on Monday, okay? Car. Xiao Nua looked at him puzzledly, and in the blink of an eye, he found a BMW key in his hand. Zhang Xingxing, let's go home. Zhang Xingxing's father was urging in the distance. Okay, I'll be right there. Zhang Xingxing agreed, but still looked at Xiao Nua. Then we have a deal, Ninuo. He finished speaking and ran away without waiting for Xiao Nua's response. In the distance, Zhang Xingxing's father stood beside the car, touching his trouser pocket and frowning. Strange, where are my car keys? I clearly put them in my pocket just now. He searched for a long time and finally fixed his eyes on Zhang Xingxing, who looked guilty. Tell me, where are the keys? I gave it to Su Inua. She said she would bring me chicken wings on Monday. Zhang Xingxing's voice became smaller and smaller. Zhang Xingxing's father's face darkened instantly, and he looked at his son with gritted teeth. You a prodigal son? Zhang Xingxing saw that something was wrong and hurriedly explained. But Dad, didn't you say that this car will be mine in the future? Since it's mine, can't I give it to someone else? Okay, you're gonna give it to someone else, right? Zhang Xingxing's father cursed as he skillfully untied the seven wolves belt around his waist. The scene was very chaotic for a while. Xiao Nua blinked, looked at the car keys in his hand, then looked at Zhang Xingxing's family and scratched his head, as if he had no idea what had just happened. Chapter 222. I've driven this car before, but not like this. Seeing Zhang Xingxing being beaten with a septwolf's belt by his father at the kindergarten gate, Su Inua's face turned pale with fright. His little hands tightly grasped the corner of my clothes, and he was obviously greatly shocked. Even teacher Zhang Qian, who was standing next to him, was trying to dissuade Zhang Xingxing's father while thinking to herself, so belts can be used like this? Thinking of this, she glanced at me subconsciously. I was wearing casual pants and no belt. Her gaze startled me, and I thought she wanted me to help stop them, but she turned her head away thoughtfully and said nothing more. The farce ended quickly, and Zhang Xingxing's father pulled him into the car with a gloomy face. It seemed that he would have to go through a second round of family education after returning home. Before leaving, Zhang Xingxing looked at Su Inua through the car window with a resentful look on his face. The little girl patted her chest and said thankfully, Fortunately, my father won't do this to me. She widened her eyes, and it was obvious that the scene just now had a great impact on her. Of course, how could Daddy bear to do that? I smiled and touched her little head, then took her little hand and got into Xiao Feifei's Porsche. After today's parent-child activity, the atmosphere in the car was less awkward than before and more relaxed. I was driving, occasionally glancing at the mother and daughter in the back seat through the rearview mirror. Xiao Feifei sat in the back seat, legs crossed, staring at the candy in her hand in a daze. The car was driving quietly, but suddenly Su Inua exclaimed in a low voice. Dad, how did you know I was taking candy? Didn't I tell you that you can only eat 2 pieces of candy a day? I smiled, didn't look back, and continued to look at the road ahead. Dad, you really have eyes in the back of your head? Xiao Nua's face was full of disbelief. I didn't answer, but just raised my head and motioned her to look at the rearview mirror. Xiao Feifei, who was standing by, also noticed my gaze. She sat there motionless. She was wearing parent-child clothing today, and the bare pattern on her body formed a strange contrast with her cold and elegant temperament. At the traffic light, I stepped on the brakes, and the Bluetooth suddenly connected to the car's speakers. After the call was connected, the customer service's voice came from the other end. "Hello, Mr. Su. The Xiaomi SU7 Max version you ordered has arrived at the store, and you can pick it up at any time." Hearing this, I looked up at Xiao Feifei in the rearview mirror and saw her looking down at the candy in her hand. I smiled and saw that she looked a little dazed. "Why are you looking at me? Now that you've bought the car, go pick it up yourself. I won't take care of anything." Xiao Feifei looked up and looked at me. Although her words were still as cold as ever, they were a little softer than before. "Okay, I understand." I nodded gently and said with a smile, "Then let's go to the Xiaomi delivery center now." Xiao Feifei was speechless for a while. Su Inoa in the back row got excited when he heard the word car, clapping his hands and jumping up and down in his seat. Within half an hour, I parked my car at the entrance of the Xiaomi Auto Delivery Center in the south of the city. As soon as I got off the car, I found that many people were waiting to pick up their cars in the hall, and they were chatting and looking at us. I walked into the hall with Xiao Nua and Xiao Feifei, and the parent-child outfits they wore immediately attracted a lot of attention. The good-looking family of three, coupled with the blessing of parent-child outfits, attracted the attention of the surrounding customers. Soon, a staff member came up and asked enthusiastically, "Hello, are you Mr. Su here to pick up the car?" "Yes, we just talked on the phone." I nodded and kept smiling. "Okay, Mr. Su, please wait a moment. I will help you with the formalities." The staff enthusiastically guided us to sit down in the rest area. Xiao Nua looked at the display cars in the hall, staring at those new toys intently. Xiao Feifei leaned back in her chair with her hands folded, occasionally looking sideways at me. A hint of complex emotions flashed in her eyes, but she said nothing. Chapter 223, Did you install surveillance cameras on me? The staff was very considerate and brought fruits and snacks. Xiao Nua looked at the food on the table and started to eat excitedly. For her, wherever there is food, it is heaven. The car pickup process was very quick, and soon the staff took us to the garage. Xiao Nua ran in the front, and the moment she saw the new car, she jumped up, very excited. "Dad, we have a new car at home. This car is so cool. Much better than your three-wheeled motorcycle. We don't have to be afraid of rainy days anymore." Her little face was full of pride, and she touched the car door with her hand, looking like she couldn't let it go. Xiao Feifei stood aside, looking helpless. No, is this car really that good? Mom's car is much more expensive than this one, and I've never seen you look like this." Xiao Newell responded bluntly. "It's different. There's no refrigerator, color TV, or big sofa in my mom's car." I couldn't help laughing when I heard this, but Xiao Feifei pouted and said with dissatisfaction, "What's the use of these fancy functions? They're just to trick children. They are not practical at all." As soon as the words were spoken, the staff member smiled and reminded, "Madam, our car also has the Queen's car function. Would you like to experience it?" "The Queen's car?" Xiao Feifei's eyes lit up, and she immediately sat on it with her long, white legs. Feeling the comfort of the seat, she nodded. "Not bad. This car was designed by Xiaomi for female users, and it is extremely comfortable." Xiao Feifei is only 1.78 meters tall, but she can still stretch her legs completely, and the backrest is more comfortable than the sofa at home. "Yeah, not bad." She closed her eyes and leaned back in her seat, obviously very satisfied with this feature. Xiao Noa was busy studying the big TV in the co-pilot seat. She switched the screen to the children's animation channel and watched Pigman while shouting, "Subdue the dragon with 18 palms." She was happier watching the show than at home. As for me, I am concerned about the car's intelligent driving function. National map-free intelligent driving, right? I asked calmly. The staff nodded and replied, "Yes, Mr. Su, this car is equipped with the latest generation of intelligent driving technology." "Yeah," I nodded to show my satisfaction. After confirming the vehicle configuration, we returned to the lobby and started to handle the remaining formalities. It didn't take long for the insurance, package, and temporary license plate to be completed. "Mr. Su, do you need to pay in installments? We have a promotion now," the staff asked politely. I looked up at Xiao Feifei and said with a smile, "Is that unnecessary, Mr. Xiao?" Xiao Feifei snorted coldly and swiped her card without saying anything. "You talk too much nonsense." Her action was decisive and neat, which made the staff beside her couldn't help but sigh. Boss Xiao is really generous. After completing all the formalities, I returned the Porsche keys to Xiao Feifei and asked, "Can you drive it back by yourself?" Xiao Feifei looked down at the high heels on her feet and threw the keys to the staff expressionlessly. "Just find a designated driver and ask him to ask Su Yang for the address." After that, she sat directly in the passenger seat of the new car, enjoying the experience of the Queen's car. Xiao Nua continued to watch cartoons on the tablet, and I became the only full-time driver in the whole car. Fortunately, I had the driving skills rewarded by the system, so I was able to drive an electric car easily even though it was my first time. Although there were a lot of electric cars and private cars on the road, I still drove the car back home safely. It was already dark, and it was time for dinner. After I parked the car, Xiao Nuo grabbed Xiao Feifei, who had just changed her clothes and was about to leave. Mom, let's have dinner first. Xiao Feifei glanced at me, wanting to say something, but stopping herself. I smiled and said, stay and eat. It's already so late. I'll make something casual. Xiao Feifei didn't refuse, and I went straight into the kitchen. A moment later, the table was filled with dishes. Royal chicken wings, twice-cooked pork, chicken tofu. Each dish smelled delicious. During meals, Xiao Feifei rarely spoke, but this time she ate 2 bowls of rice for the first time. Even Xiao Nuo was surprised. Mom, why did you eat so much? Xiao Feifei glared at Xiao Nuo, didn't respond, and got up to change her clothes and prepare to leave. When she reached the door, she squatted down and kissed Xiao Nuo's forehead, leaving a red lip print. Bye, see you next time, baby, she said gently. I stood by and said with a smile, you've worked hard today. Go back and rest early and don't work overtime. When Xiao Feifei heard Su Yang's words, she was also slightly stunned. Did you install surveillance on me? How did you know I was going back to the hotel to work overtime tonight? There shouldn't be one in the bathroom at home, right? Chapter 224, what do you mean by late night? What are you thinking about? Xiao Feifei drove the Porsche away from Su Yang's residence. The traffic outside the third ring road was sparse at night, and it seemed particularly quiet. She drove very fast. The wind outside the window lifted her long black hair. Her scallion-like fingers tapped the steering wheel, her expression indifferent. At a crossroads, she chose to turn and went directly back to the villa instead of going to the company. Su Yang's words came to her mind. Maybe she should give herself a holiday occasionally, and it's okay to be lazy. After returning to the villa and before entering the bathroom, Feng Xiaoya came to the door. She was in a low mood at this time, and could even be said to be extremely sad. Logically speaking, Xiao Feifei was away from the company all day, and as an assistant, she should have relaxed like the new year. But the problem is, she has no appetite. At noon, she went to a restaurant she used to like and ordered a meal with great expectations, but it was tasteless. The signature dish, baked crab mushrooms with foie gras sauce, tasted like chewing wax, and she had no interest in it at all. It was like waiting for a new movie to be released with great anticipation, taking off half of your pants, only to find that you were stuck in an insignificant scene. This kind of collapse made Feng Xiaoya think about it for an afternoon, and finally put the blame on Su Yang. It's definitely that guy's fault. He spoiled my appetite. Feng Xiaoya muttered to herself angrily. She knocked on Xiao Feifei's door with resentment and spoke in a sarcastic tone. Boss Xiao, you're finally back. Where did you come from? Xiao Feifei opened the door and let Feng Xiaoya in. Feng Xiaoya looked around after entering the room and confirmed that Su Yang had not followed her. But her eyes fell on Xiao Feifei's narrow long skirt. Sister Feifei, you haven't been home all night, but your skirt is still intact? She raised her eyebrows with a hint of ridicule in her tone. What nonsense are you talking about? Xiao Feifei looked helpless, but she was obviously used to her bestie's sharp tongue. Feng Xiaoya sat on the sofa and continued to speak shamelessly. Tell me, how far have you and Su Yang progressed? Do you want to prepare a red envelope? Xiao Feifei rolled her eyes at her and said indifferently. No progress. I have already said that it is to send the little guy to participate in kindergarten activities. Really? Feng Xiaoya stared at her suspiciously, obviously not believing it was that simple. Really? Don't let your imagination run wild. Xiao Feifei calmly sipped her water with a faint smile on her face. But you are dressed so exquisitely today, and you are wearing this newly bought red skirt. Feng Xiaoya looked unyielding. Xiao Feifei was a little annoyed by her pestering, and reached out to poke her forehead. What kind of nonsense is in your head? Feng Xiaoya frowned, still unwilling to give up, and finally sighed. I think you regret it and want to get Su Yang back. Hearing this, Xiao Feifei didn't say anything, but took a bottle of water from the refrigerator and handed it over, saying in a flat tone, Drink water, don't think too much. Well, I'll give Su Yang back to you as a contribution to your love. Feng Xiaoya took the water and shook her head. But I have a website to recommend to you. She suddenly took out her phone, clicked on a link, and handed it to Xiao Feifei. Xiao Feifei frowned and said in a cold tone, I've told you so many times I don't like to watch those indecent things. Feng Xiaoya hurriedly explained, It's not indecent. This is a website that teaches you how to save your love. Xiao Feifei sneered after hearing this. Huh. Obviously, she didn't trust Feng Xiaoya's explanation. She used the same excuse last time, but the link she received made her unable to sleep well that night, and she was so tired that she was almost late the next day. Doesn't this show the spirit of craftsmanship? Soon, Xiao Nuo and I set up a stall on the roadside near the university town. Driving such a top-of-the-line Xiaomi car to set up a stall really attracted attention. People around us passed by and whispered, What kind of operation is this? Setting up a stall and driving such a nice car? A passerby couldn't help but mutter. Yes, this car is top of the line. but it is used to set up a stall. Can the money spent on the car be earned back by setting up a stall? Another person echoed. I heard it and couldn't help but smile. I didn't respond, but continued to busy myself arranging the crystal cakes, mung bean shaved ice, and shrimp dumplings in the constant temperature fresh-keeping box one by one. Xiaonoa was very active standing beside me. He took out the packed food and helped me put it neatly on the table. Although the little guy's hands were not very skilled, his movements were very serious. Nono is awesome. She helps Dad save a lot of effort. I praised her, and little Nono smiled brightly. Students and passersby were surprised when they saw this scene. They obviously didn't expect that the two people, one big and one small, were so good-looking and were actually setting up a stall. And the food on the table was completely different from the food of ordinary vendors. Crystal cake, mung bean shaved ice, shrimp dumplings. Why do these things feel so exquisitely arranged? A passerby whispered. You don't understand? The stall owner is Boss Sue. His stall is very popular on Douyin, and there are always long queues. Another student immediately replied. Is this true? Is he the Boss Sue who sells delicious fried beef noodles? More people were attracted. Before I had even finished setting up my stall, many fans from the Penguin Food Group had already arrived. They were stunned for a moment when they saw the table next to my car, and then they couldn't help but gather around excitedly. Damn, Boss Sue isn't driving the three-wheeler today. Did he change his car? This car is top of the line. Even setting up a stall can be so cool. Boss Sue, you are too outrageous. Stop talking nonsense. Give me 2 servings of crystal cake and 1 serving of shrimp dumplings first. Where's my mung bean shaved ice? A big brother with a hungry look in his eyes was the first to rush up. I smiled and handed over the packed takeaway bag skillfully. Slow down. Don't rush. Everyone will get a portion. Xiao Nua next to me was also very smart. He was responsible for taking everyone's payment and collecting money by scanning the QR code on my mobile phone in an orderly manner. He was busy and having a lot of fun. Don't push, line up. Some old customers spontaneously began to maintain order, and the scene seemed particularly lively for a while. Boss Sue, this car is the Xiaomi car you mentioned in the group, right? It's really cool. I think it's even cooler than your fried beef noodles. Ah, just make do with it and try something new. I responded with a smile and handed over a cup of mung bean smoothie. Although this car is indeed quite eye-catching, setting up the stall cannot be delayed. While I was busy with my work, I watched Xiao Nua help me distribute food. Although her movements were a little slow, she was still very serious. Soon, the line around the stall became longer, and passersby who came later couldn't help but come over out of curiosity when they saw this scene. This stall is so popular. Is it a celebrity selling it? A student who had just arrived widened his eyes. Don't ask. All I have to say is that Boss Sue's food is delicious. It's worth waiting in line no matter how long, the customer in front answered while swallowing his saliva. As the night deepened, the air near the university town began to get a little chilly, but the bustle around the stalls did not diminish at all. I looked at the increasingly long queue in front of me, and then looked at the remaining stock, and I estimated that these foods would probably be sold out soon. Xiao Nua held the empty incubator box and shouted happily, Dad, our stuff is selling so fast. Yeah, when the stall closes later. How about Daddy take you to buy an ice cream cone? I smiled and rubbed her little head. Okay. The little guy's eyes sparkled with excitement. After the stall was finished, on the way home with Xiao Nua, I thought to myself that although such a life was hard, it didn't seem bad. At least, with her by my side, life was a little warmer and sweeter. Chapter 226, what on earth are you guys up to? Just transfer the money directly to his bank card. Su Yang smiled as he took the constant temperature fresh food box out of the car, and the father and daughter tacitly placed the packed delicacies on the table one by one. The onlookers were stunned and felt that these days, even the stall owners drove new cars. Times have changed. Looking back, the vendors in the past wore straw sandals and carried loads on their shoulders. How could they have such a grand display? But the father and daughter in front of me were so good-looking and looked so calm and professional. Could this be true? Passersby gasped. Is it so profitable to set up street vendors now? And he didn't hide his wealth, showing it off. The brand new car didn't even have a formal license plate, which told everyone nakedly, look, I bought it by setting up street vendors. The crowd was talking about it, unable to understand Su Yang's approach. Aren't you afraid of causing jealousy among your peers by making money this way? Just as everyone was puzzled, there was a sudden noise in the distance, and a group of people ran over in a mighty manner. These people shouted loudly, Where is Boss Su? Let me buy something first, otherwise I will have hypoglycemia. Someone complained breathlessly. Brothers, run slower. My Armani shoes are broken. A group of people finally found Su Yang and the cute little Su Inoa and gathered in front of the stall, staring at the food like hungry wolves. Boss Su is really like a beacon in the dark night. No matter how late it is, he always brings us light. Someone in the crowd sighed. Su Yang and Su Inoa sat on chairs, and the food on the table was neatly arranged. The father and daughter couldn't help laughing at the scene. The little girl pouted and said, Dad, why do these guests look like they want to eat people? It's so scary. Su Yang smiled and joked. Maybe it's because your meat smells so good. Woo woo woo, I don't want to be eaten. The little guy shook his head quickly, his face turning pale at the thought of the appearance of zombies. Soon, 30 or 40 people had lined up neatly, and the onlookers were stunned by the scene. No way, these people are agents? A small street stall actually hired more than 30 agents. What's the purpose? Passers-by were talking about it, speculating that these customers deliberately created a false impression to cover up the stall owners' showing off behavior. But even if they were not hired by someone else, they would probably be jealous after seeing the stall owner's new car. But the reality was unexpected. When the people in the team noticed Su Yang's new car, instead of being jealous, they started to chat excitedly. Boss Su got a new car? It's a Xiaomi SU7? It's a nice car, someone said with a smile. Is this the car you just picked up? Boss Su, you can contact me next time you want to buy a car. I can help you get an internal price. Someone else suggested. Boss Su, it's such an important day. Shouldn't you celebrate it? There is no purchase limit today. Su Yang smiled and shook his head. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare much food today. If there is no purchase limit, many people will not be able to eat it. Hearing this, the crowd felt a little regretful, but expressed their understanding and suggested extending the purchase limit time next time. The onlookers were completely stunned when they heard these conversations. These customers were not jealous at all, and even wanted to spend more money? What else could this be? People nowadays are willing to pay for their boss to drive a new car. It's outrageous, someone said indignantly. At this time, a man in a suit and a big gold watch opened a box of crystal shrimp dumplings and started eating them eagerly. After taking a bite, he showed an expression of extreme enjoyment, and even had an exaggerated acting skill that could be compared to a textbook of Beijing Film Academy. He sighed as he ate. Boss Su, this car is still a bit cheap. The SU7 Ultra is only 800,000 yuan. Consider upgrading next time? Someone next to him echoed. Yes, a car worth 300,000 yuan is not worthy of Boss Su's status. At least it should be a Bentley. The onlookers couldn't help but ask, what the hell? A street vendor is ashamed of a 300,000 yuan car? Are you kidding me? The more they watched, the more confused they became. They thought the scene was absurd and outrageous. Are all the touts so unethical nowadays? While passers-by were still in shock, Su Yang's customers were already enjoying the food and immersed in happiness. Seeing this scene, passers-by could only grit their teeth. Are these people crazy? They are willing to help the stall owner make money. Chapter 227, It's Not Delicious? If it's not delicious, how come you are so satisfied with it? Seeing the line in front of the stall getting longer and longer, those passers-by who were just watching the fun finally began to get impatient. Especially when they saw someone paying 50 yuan to an old man to help them queue up, many people immediately had questions. What kind of stall is this that has so many people rushing to buy? There are even people who pay people to queue up. No, we have to go and see if it's really that exaggerated. Yeah, what if it really is a treasure stall? Wouldn't it be a shame to miss it? With various thoughts in mind, more and more passers-by joined the queue. Some even started to make calls quietly after standing at the end of the queue for only a few minutes. Hey son, come here quickly. There's a fairy stall over here. Bring some cash and bring me a small stool to use in the queue. Honey, are you off work yet? Come over here quickly. I'm almost halfway through the line. It would be such a shame if they're all sold out. What's even more outrageous is that some students actually ran out of the restaurant in the food alley opposite, holding the fried skewers they just bought. Brother, what are you lining up for? They look much more impressive than the skewers I have. A customer who was feasting on the food nearby shook the empty packaging box in his hand and boasted, This is Mr. Su's shrimp dumplings. I just queued for half an hour to buy one. Don't be fooled by the appearance. The taste is even more amazing. The student was stunned for a moment and looked down at the fried skewers in his hand, as if they had lost their taste after chewing for a while. Is it so magical? I must come here to try it next time I eat. Don't wait until next time. Try it tonight. If you don't line up now, you won't even be able to smell the flavor later. As the customer finished speaking, he saw the other party throw away the fried skewers in his hand and rush to the end of the line. At this moment, the passers-by in the queue were also completely convinced of the charm of this stall. Everything they had just seen was genuine customers promoting the stall spontaneously, and it didn't look like there were any hired agents at all. This boss is so awesome. He doesn't even need to do any promotion. People who have bought his products have become tap water. And there was such a long line, and people parked their cars there to set up stalls, but no one thought it was putting on airs. This is really a show of strength. At the front of the line, Su Yang and Xiao Nua cooperated more and more tacitly. Xiao Nua was responsible for collecting money, and Su Yang was responsible for delivering meals. Their movements were smooth, and there was no sign of panic. Boss Su, I want 3 crystal cakes. Oh no, there's a purchase limit, right? Then I'll have 2 crystal cakes and 1 shrimp dumpling. A middle-aged man swallowed his saliva while ordering, obviously complaining about the purchase limit system. Su Yang smiled and handed over the packaged food. The purchase limit is to allow more people to taste it. Don't worry, Come early tomorrow. There will be other delicious food waiting for you. The man took the food and sighed. Oh, who made you cook so delicious? I will definitely bring my family to buy some tomorrow. Xiao Nua, who was standing next to him, heard this and said seriously, Uncle, you have to come earlier. Otherwise, there will be a very long queue again. The man laughed out loud at the little guy. Okay, I'll remember what Xiao Nua said. I'll be the first one in line tomorrow. As time went by, the food on the stall was finally sold out, leaving only a few spare green bean shaved ice and 2 crystal cakes. Seeing this, the customers in the queue behind them expressed their dissatisfaction. Why are they gone? It's only been a short time. Boss Su, please bring more next time. It's not even my turn yet. A young girl looked very disappointed. Su Yang waved his hand and said with a smile, We didn't prepare enough today. Come early tomorrow, and I guarantee you will have a share. As the last few portions of food were sold out, the line mostly dispersed. Su Yang began to pack up the stall, while Xiao Nua happily helped to sort out the remaining incubators. The passersby, who didn't understand, just now were now completely convinced. One man said with emotion, This is not just a stall, this is simply cheating. They don't even have to compete for business. Customers come to pay for it themselves. An old man standing nearby agreed with a smile. This is how you make a living by your skills. If young people have the skills, they won't have to worry about lack of business. After closing the stall, I looked at my watch, and it was exactly 9:30. After putting the things back in the car, Xiao Nua yawned and shouted, Dad, we're sold out today. Can you make more tomorrow? I touched her head and said with a smile, Okay, but you have to go to bed early so that you can help Dad with work tomorrow, okay? Okay. Xiao Nua nodded, leaned on the passenger seat, and soon fell asleep. On the way home, looking at her sleeping appearance, I felt that no matter how tiring it was to set up a stall, it seemed worth it. Chapter 228. I never expected that my biggest competitor would be a street vendor. The passersby were completely dumbfounded. They originally thought that this was just some kind of exaggerated publicity routine, but the expressions of the people who finished eating before them were like they had opened up a new world of life. Especially those customers who tried crystal cakes, shrimp dumplings, and green bean shaved ice. The satisfaction on their faces was simply impossible to conceal. Fuck, this is too exaggerated, right? Can a snack stand have such an effect? Brother, don't just stand there and talk without any back pain. You haven't tasted it really. Just this crystal cake. I dare say that even a 5-star hotel can't make it taste this good. No way? Is it really that magical? Should I try it? What the hell are you trying? Hurry up and get in line. Someone just said that the purchase is limited to 1 per person. If you hesitate any longer, you won't even have the chance to see the box. When passersby heard this, they panicked, fearing that they had missed something they must experience in life. As a result, those who were still hesitating joined the queue, and the line suddenly became longer, as if it would never end. Just then, a young man took a bite of the crystal cake he had just bought, with an expression of pain and satisfaction on his face. This is the meaning of life, he yelled, tears almost falling. Why didn't I know for all these years that something so delicious existed? Is it that exaggerated? Exclaimed a passerby who had just cut in line. You don't understand. You'll understand after you take a bite. The man continued incoherently while holding the crystal cake in his mouth. You will definitely be thankful that you queued up today. At this time, another new customer, after eating the crystal shrimp dumplings, began to doubt his life. My mother always said that the dumplings she made were the best in the world. Now it seems that she was lying to me. Some people even looked up and exclaimed while drinking mung bean smoothie. This mung bean smoothie is the most gentle breeze in summer. The passersby around looked at these people's outrageous reactions. Although they thought they were a bit exaggerated, they became more curious about Su Yang's stall. Brother, how much does a piece of crystal cake cost? Someone couldn't help but ask. 20 yuan. It's really not expensive. It's worth it. It's worth it. The man said while reluctantly swallowing the last bite of the crystal cake. For this quality, 20 yuan is really a conscience price. I'll accept it even if I spend another 50 yuan. Upon hearing the price, many people were even more surprised. Only 20? Desserts in ordinary restaurants nowadays cost more than this. And there's a purchase limit? Oh my god, this stall must have something good. Otherwise, it would be unreasonable to have such a long queue at this price. The line was getting longer and longer, even occupying a large section of the street. Even the city management officers patrolling nearby couldn't help but slow down when they saw this scene. An older city management officer frowned at the line and whispered, Isn't this a bit disruptive? Another young team member laughed. Brother, this is the stall of Boss Su. You don't know, he is so famous that he can set up a stall like this. Our team leader ate crystal cake last time and came back and said that if there is no place for him to set up his stall, our urban management can't chase him away. Is this true? The older team member was slightly stunned. Of course it's true. Look at these people queuing up. They are so orderly. Not even one is quarreling. The young team member said while swallowing quietly. If I weren't at work, I would also like to queue up. The food at this stall is a good deal, if you can eat it. Hearing this, the older team member nodded and said, okay, never mind. This stall does not disturb the people and does not violate the rules. Instead, it sets an example for our streets. Just when Su Yang's stall was becoming extremely popular, the old customers at the front began to envy the newcomers who had just lined up. Well, I told you that Boss Su's stall is like winning the lottery. You newcomers, you're lucky today. That's right. If you queue up here normally, you might break your head and still not be able to buy it. Next time, remember this. If you want to eat Boss Su's food, you have to come early, otherwise you can only watch others eat. Listening to these people bragging in their words, passersby are looking forward to the moment when they will get a seat. At this time, Su Yang looked at his watch, shook his head gently, and said to Xiao Nuo, no, tell everyone that today's limited edition is almost sold out, and the friends behind may be disappointed. Xiao Nu nodded and shouted in a clear voice. Everyone listen to me. Today's limited supply is almost sold out. Children and uncles and aunts who haven't lined up yet, make sure to come early tomorrow. As soon as the words fell, a wailing broke out in the team. What? Sold out? It's only been a short time. It's over. I've been waiting in line for almost half an hour, but I'm still a step late. I've lost a lot today. I must come and grab the first place tomorrow. Although many people returned disappointed, more people have secretly made up their minds. They will never miss tomorrow's stall again. Chapter 229, I am really a serious consumer. Police comrade, please listen to my explanation. The atmosphere at the scene suddenly became eerily quiet for a moment. Everyone looked at this smart guy who had been exposed, waiting for his reaction with a half smile. Did Songming lowered his head and touched his nose, then turned around and left dejectedly, muttering under his breath. Isn't it just a crystal cake? What's the big deal? I'll go home and ask my wife to steam a basket for me. Although his words were sarcastic, everyone could hear them clearly. His lost tone was as if he had just missed the most important opportunity in his life. An old man nearby couldn't help but shook his head. Young man, you should be more honest. How can you be smart with such delicious food? After saying that, the old man took another bite of the shrimp dumpling. The look of enjoyment on his face made people wonder if he had his own food advertisement effect. Boss Su is awesome, even queuing up as people fighting for it. Passersby nearby couldn't help but sigh. Although they were still queuing, they had already begun to wonder in their hearts whether Boss Su's limited edition items would have been sold out by the time it was their turn. Sure enough, less than 10 minutes into the line, Su Yang's voice came from the stall. The last 3. To those who didn't get one today, I'm really sorry. Remember to come early tomorrow. This sentence was like a bolt from the blue, and it stunned half of the people in the queue behind. What? Sold out? I've been waiting in line for half an hour. Boss Su, make some more. There are so many people watching. Damn, if I had known, I wouldn't have gone across the street to buy milk tea. I'll die after drinking that milk tea. For a moment, the passersby behind complained one after another, and some even beat their chests and stamped their feet. No, I have to join the group. I must join the group. But soon, after seeing the 3 customers in front leave with the last boxes of delicious food, these people stopped arguing and rushed over directly, surrounding the customers and began to ask frantically, Brother, how much do you want for this crystal cake? I'll give you 100. 100? You must be looking down on Mr. Su's craftsmanship. I'll give you 200. Don't even think about it. I won't sell it to you for 300. This is what my wife told me to do. If you can't take it back, don't go home. The man covered the box tightly, with a determined expression as if he was protecting a family heirloom. The onlookers were stunned. Is this still a street food? Is this harder to get than a concert ticket? Fuck, you guys, you can't do that? It's just a crystal cake. Why are you exaggerating so much? Just think I lied to you. Wait until you eat it tomorrow. As for Boss Su's stuff, I'm not exaggerating. My wife has never smiled at me so happily in her life. My child was extremely picky about food when he was young and wouldn't even eat noodles. But after eating Boss Su's fried beef noodles, he begged me to buy 10 more servings. Don't you think this is a big deal? As these returning customers fanned the flames, the atmosphere at the scene was completely lifted, and those who didn't buy one regretted it more than one. Some people even began to look for opportunities to take a bite from others. Su Yang looked at the customers with different expressions, shook his head helplessly, and said calmly, There are indeed no extra portions today. If you really want to eat, please come early tomorrow. Although everyone was unwilling, they still nodded in understanding. Boss Su, don't worry. I will definitely get up early tomorrow. Yes, Boss Su. Please don't change the place. We had a lot of trouble finding your stall. When the last customer got his food and Su Yang was cleaning the stall, the little guy Su Eno next to him was already yawning. Dad, I'm so tired today. Xiao Nua rubbed her eyes and snuggled up to Su Yang and acted coquettishly. Su Yang touched her little head and said gently, If you were tired, take a nap. Let's go home. After hearing this, the little girl hugged her small water cup, leaned against the car, and closed her eyes. Looking at his daughter's sweet sleeping face, Su Yang couldn't help but smile. We are tired, but it is worth it. After packing up the stall, Young looked up at the night sky above his head, took a deep breath, and started the car. Tonight's stall was another grand slam. He didn't know where the future would lead him, but his current life was busy and fulfilling, and it also gave him a rare sense of satisfaction. Chapter 230. If Boss Su went to the Three Kingdoms to support the Prime Minister, could he win? 10 minutes later, all the delicacies on Su Yang's stall were sold out. The only thing left was a scan code sign and a pack of tissues. Tissues are provided free of charge to every customer who purchases something. Su Yang would prepare a few packs every time, but the problem was that the consumption of this stuff was almost pitifully small. As for the reason, it's very simple. Because most people who choose to eat it directly are reluctant to wipe their mouths frequently. For them, how wasteful is it to wipe it clean with paper towels? What is the tongue used for? Isn't this the time when it should come in handy? Licking away every bit of delicious food left at the corner of your mouth. It's just like the last remnants of a bag of potato chips. The less there are left, the more delicious it becomes. Besides, even if we take a step back, waste is shameful. Of course, in addition to free napkins, Su Yang also prepared free mints. This kind of thing is usually prepared in restaurants. Eat one after a meal to freshen your breath. I have to say, Su Yang is never very fast with this thing. It's not because the candies are free, but because of the guest's surprise discovery. The mint candies Su Yang has here taste completely different from those sold outside. It's so delicious. Especially for freshening breath, the effect is 10 times stronger than normal brushing. It's outrageous. Some customers also curiously asked Su Yang where he bought this brand of mint candy. Su Yang always refused to answer this question. This also made many people wonder, could it be that these mints were also made by Su Yang himself? That is too outrageous. Is there anything in this world that Su Yang won't do? Under the reluctant gazes of the crowd, Su Yang began to pack up his stall. Since today is different from usual, there is no need to make and sell it immediately. You don't need to prepare fried beef noodles, fried twice-cooked pork, or other seasonings and side dishes. Su Yang found it quite easy to clean up. The little guy Su also tried his best to help clean up the benches and fold them up. After setting up the stall tonight, the number of people in Su Yang's penguin group has increased again. In a blink of an eye, the number has almost reached 2,000. Even these people have been strictly reviewed by the administrators. Now, the most basic requirement to join the group is to at least show a record of buying food from Su Yang. Whether it's photos or payment records, it's fine. I guess as the number of people increases in the future, it will become more and more difficult to join the group. As these new members passed the review, many old members in the group began to complain about their daily lives. Daniel Wu of Magic City. Fuck. Why is it that every time Boss Su opens his stall, there are always new people joining the group? I mean, how many people in Magic City haven't tasted the delicious food made by Boss Su? One kiss only. Stop talking. There are so many new people joining every day. I can feel that one day, buying food at Boss Su's stall will be no less than an ancient war. Old General, do you know Tianshui Jiangbuyue? What do you think? If Boss Su went to the Three Kingdoms and supported the Prime Minister, would Shu be able to win? Good fellow? I'm just a good fellow. Thousands of years have passed, and you still can't let it go, Bo Yu. National Spicy Hot Pot Eating Champion. I can only say that if Boss Su traveled through time, Boss Chow would cry out of envy. Boss Su's leg pendant. Stop talking, and fast forward to the part where the Three Kingdoms make dumplings together. I am really Nono's stepmother. Even if Boss Su traveled to the Three Kingdoms, he couldn't stop the two of us from being together. I am really Nono's biological mother. No. What are you, the stepmother, talking about? Do I, the biological mother, agree? I am really Nono's only biological mother. Nono is my biological mother. Do you want to see what you were talking about? On the way home, Su Yang drove his newly bought electric car and turned on the smart driving function, which was quite enjoyable. I have to say that the advancement of technology is still quite impressive. I would never have dared to think of this in the past. Su Yang even feels that maybe in another 30 or 50 years, true driverless cars will be fully implemented. By then, private cars will really become dispensable. Of course, except for those who simply like the feeling of driving. However, this can avoid many car accidents. Su Yang had been to Hubei before and heard that there were many Yangtze River bridges there, and car accidents happen on the bridges almost every day. It can be said that it is quite outrageous. Dad, look, today's stuff was sold out in a short while. I helped a lot. Do you want to reward your little cutie? When the little boy Su Inua saw the smile on Su Yang's face, he realized that his father was in a good mood, so he spoke immediately. Of course. Su Yang agreed without hesitation. Yeah, really? Can I have strawberry flavor? Okay, Su Yang nodded again. The little guy, who had originally looked happy, suddenly noticed something was wrong. No, something must be quite wrong. If it were an ordinary father, he would definitely refuse decisively. It's so late now. He has no reason to agree. The more the little fellow Su Inua thought about it, the more he felt that what he said made sense, so he asked tentatively. So, when is Dad going to buy for your little cutie? Yeah, in a dream. Sure enough, a helpless expression appeared on the little guy's face. She knew that since her father Su Yang agreed so decisively, it would not end well. In dreams, can you only eat ice cream in dreams? In my dreams, I want to build myself a chocolate factory. Then, Dad, what if I can't eat ice cream in my dream tonight? I have a day off tomorrow. Can I have two? Su Inu blinked his pitiful eyes and had no intention of giving up. Are you kidding? This is just the beginning. For the little ones, as long as they are thick-skinned enough, everything is possible. You are very brave. Now you dare to make two wishes. Su Yang pretended to be angry. Then, that one is okay. The little guy compromised instantly. Su Yang thought for a moment. Then a faint smile appeared on his face again. All right, Dad. I knew you were the best. The little guy immediately showed a happy expression, as if the person who looked weak, aggrieved, and helpless just now was not himself at all. Dad, let me sing a song for you, Su Inua said immediately while flattering Su Yang. Oh, cool. After getting Su Yang's consent, the little guy excitedly operated the big screen in the car. Then I found a song by Baby Bus, Planting the Sun, in the children's area of the music software. I have a beautiful wish. When I grow up, I can sow the sun. It is enough to sow one seed at a time. We'll produce many, many suns. One for Antarctica, one for the Arctic Ocean. Chapter 231, it was clearly agreed that women should also have the right to pursue their careers. In the evening, around 9 o'clock, the two finally returned home. Su Yang first gave the little guy a bath and then blew his hair dry. I had just put him on the bed, and within 2 minutes, the little guy had already entered automatic shutdown mode. Looking at her sweet lips, Su Yang's face also exuded more tenderness. Cover yourself with the quilt and walk out of the room quietly. Su Yang sat on the sofa and poured himself a glass of lemonade. This lemonade was brought by Xiao Feifei when she came yesterday. Although she didn't say it to Su Yang face to face, Su Yang knew it very well. This kind of lemonade is Xiao Feifei's favorite. Before her divorce, she always kept this at home. Compared with ordinary boiled water, it tastes a little more flavorful. Speaking of which, Su Yang's lips curled up slightly. Xiao Feifei has changed a lot now. She should have started to reflect. In the past, she always said that she didn't have time to spend with the little one, but now she finally remembered to make up for it. Fortunately, the little guy is a very receptive person. Otherwise, if Xiao Feifei suddenly behaved like this, other children might not be able to get used to it. For the little guy, although he didn't feel much maternal love before, fortunately, he had Su Yang. This father gave her more love. This is also the reason why the little boy Su Inua can now grow up healthy, lively, and positively. Not only is she very cute, she is also very outgoing. When you walk out, whether it's the customers queuing up to eat the delicious food or the big star Yangmi, they all love this little guy indescribably. That's right, the little boy Su Inua is just like what other parents often talk about, other people's children. In this regard, Su Yang is still quite proud of the little guy. After taking a sip of lemon water, Su Yang opened his phone and took a quick look at the latest news. There are no strange national events. I clicked on Penguin and WeChat and took a look at the various messages. There was nothing special about it, except that there was a girl named Chinsi who sent me a lot of WeChat messages. Su Yang remembered that she came to visit his stall and insisted on asking for his contact information. Su Yang had no choice but to add her using his secondary account. Now Chinsi has sent me a lot of messages about ordering meals, all of which are employee meals. Su Yang shook his head slowly. He had no interest in this kind of food delivery business. Too tired. It's not about how much you earn. If I really take this up, I'm afraid I'll be busy every day just preparing meals for the employees. Rather than this, Su Yang prefers to set up a stall wherever he wants. A little more free and a little more interesting. In addition to the message sent by the girl named Chinsi, I didn't expect to see a message from Xiao Feifei's mother, Old Lady Xiao. Su Yang, don't be too tired when setting up the stall every day. Remember to take care of yourself. I believe the misunderstanding between you and Feifei will definitely be resolved. We are all family after all. Don't blame her. By the way, how is the little one these days? I want to see her this weekend. Is that okay? Even Su Yang didn't expect why Mrs. Xiao suddenly became so nice. Although I used to think highly of Su Yang and believe that Su Yang would have a bright future. But after all, the class gap is there. But for people like them, this WeChat message is already as low as a whim. Su Yang believed that although Xiao Wenshan didn't say anything, he at least wanted to see the little guy. After all, the two of them are old, and their daughter Xiao Feifei is the kind of strong-willed and paranoid type. It can be said that there is almost no time left for us to truly enjoy our old age. It is only when the little one goes there that there are some happy times. Although Xiao Wenshan did not express his opinion, Old Lady Xiao had hinted to Xiao Feifei privately more than once. Su Yang is such a good man. Why do you want to divorce him? Faced with such soul-searching questions from her own mother, Xiao Feifei was always speechless. Why divorce? To be honest, she herself can't figure it out now. At the beginning, I just felt that Su Yang and his family were a burden to me. Even in her marriage, she felt a little tired. But when Su Yang really decided to accept the divorce, she, Chow Feifei, felt a little regretful. Yes, in fact, when the divorce was proposed on the first day, Su Yang agreed without even thinking about it. Chow Feifei's heart suddenly skipped a beat, as if she had lost something very important. However, at that time, she didn't take it seriously. With her strong personality, she would never show her weak side in front of Su Yang. However, what happened later proved that leaving Su Yang might not have been a good choice. Especially, even if I want to go back now, I can't go back. There is no shortage of women around Su Yang. What campus beauties, what fair-skinned, rich beauties, even young ladies. There are so many that it's dizzying. And in Su Yang's Penguin Food Group, there are at least 20 or 30 people who want to be Nono's stepmothers. Every time Chow Feifei opened it, she would close it in a huff within a few minutes. But can Su Yang be blamed for this? Chow Feifei could only blame herself secretly. But she never said this to anyone. Whether it was her good friend Fang Xiaoya or her own mother, Chow Feifei said nothing. In particular, old Mrs. Chow heard the news from somewhere. She actually found out that Su Yang's annual income from running a street stall could reach 1 million, and she felt extremely regretful. With such skills, if I could work with Chow Feifei for Chow's hotel, do we still need to force ourselves to cooperate with Boss Gao? If it were in the past, Mrs. Chow would be able to say that with pride. Look, this is my son-in-law, how awesome. But now, she couldn't say it at all, especially when facing He Yongnian. How could she not know what that old guy was thinking? Recently, He Yongnian's daughter, He Chenxi, has frequently appeared near Su Yang's stall. It's Sima Zhao's intention. Everyone knows it. Every time this happened, the pressure from old Mrs. Chow would be put on Chow Feifei again. Chow Feifei felt very sad. How come she suddenly turned into a scumbag who abandoned her husband and daughter? It was clearly agreed that women should also have the right to pursue their careers. Besides, this was not your attitude when I first proposed this. Chow Feifei was very depressed, but she could only digest it silently. A lot of things have happened, and it's so difficult to go back to the past, especially for a woman like her who refuses to admit defeat. Chapter 232. If someone misunderstands me, then I will be able to fly all over the country. I will take care of myself, and so will the two of you. I think the little one will want to go over to your place to play this weekend. Su Yang thought about it and sent a message. At least, no matter how Chow Feifei treated her, old Mrs. Chow was always very good to her. Even when they got married, she didn't mind his poor status at all. Although Chow Winshan was somewhat dissatisfied with Su Yang, at least he never said it openly. Originally, their family of 3 could live a good life. Su Yang had just sent a message when he received messages from Fang Xiaoya and Yang Mi on his phone. Coincidentally, both of them sent Su Yang a hungry emoticon. Although in fact, it has not been long since I tasted the delicious food made by Su Yang, but this thing is addictive. If I don't have food for a day, I'll be scratching my head and feeling like the day is a year. In particular, every time Yang Mi came, the little guy was very happy and almost always wanted to be brought home for dinner. As for Fang Xiaoya, she and the little guy are more like sisters with a big age gap. Su Yang also smiled helplessly. He didn't know why, but Fang Xiaoya was sometimes very childish. He even quarreled with the little guy, Su Inoa. But they're both fun. Although Yang Mi also has a house in Shanghai, she still spends most of her time in Kyoto due to work reasons. It can be said that there is almost no free time, and filming in various parts of the country has become a daily routine. Recently, due to the overall environment, I have been filming fewer movies, so I have a little more time. Last time, I wanted to ask Su Yang to try live streaming. Su Yang naturally refused directly and decisively. Yang Mi didn't want to force him. After all, she was too tight and was afraid Su Yang wouldn't accept it. What if he couldn't bear it? Later, she tried to start a live broadcast herself, and Su Yang brought the little one with him and gave her a lot of gifts. But recently, I heard that he is busy with film and television work again. So, whenever she wanted to come to Shanghai to find Su Yang, she could really take time out of her busy schedule. As for Fang Xiaoya, she lives in Shanghai, a real Shanghainese. I can say that I have come to Su Yang's place the most times to eat delicious food. But this girl is a bit lazy and doesn't like to queue. Every time I came and saw the long line, I wanted to find Su Yang to go through the back door. Su Yang naturally refused this. You haven't even tried the front door, and you're already thinking about the back door? We must adhere to principles when doing things, and there must be a sequence of priorities. Every time this happened, Fang Xiaoya could only look helpless and then obediently queue up. And what's even more outrageous is that Su Yang's current purchase restrictions are becoming more and more troublesome. Every time Fang Xiaoya came to queue, she would be inexplicably caught by Chow Feifei. Then the threat was to bring her some food as well. But damn Su Yang, he doesn't know how to adapt at all. Isn't that your wife? Even though she's already your ex-wife. But can't you be flexible and use me as 2 people, right? See? Each time, they only sell a limited amount of food to one person. Fang Xiaoya had to queue for half a day every time, and in the end, she could only share the food with Xiao Feifei. The most important thing is that you were spending your own money. Fang Xiaoya feels so sad. You two are breaking up and getting divorced, and I become the victim? Su Yang did not reply to the two. He knew that Yang Mi was very busy and had no choice. He couldn't just send the food to her thousands of miles away with just a hungry emoticon on her face, right? If someone misunderstands me, then I will be able to fly all over the country. As for Fang Xiaoya, Su Yang was simply too lazy to pay attention to her. He glanced through the chat history and found that most of Fang Xiaoya's words were meaningless words like hungry, very hungry, want to eat, hungry. If you don't know, you might think it's a female zombie that appeared out of nowhere. Su Yang scrolled through his WeChat again and finally saw Xiao Feifei. To be precise, it was Xiao Feifei with a changed avatar. Her original profile picture was a cartoon self-portrait of herself, but now it has become a photo of Xiao Feifei and the little guy. Su Yang naturally recognized it. This was a photo taken by kindergarten teacher Zhang Qian when Xiao Feifei was playing games with the little guy during the parent-child activity this afternoon. The two people in the picture are close together, playing the three-legged race game. The smile on his face, he looks so happy. In particular, the angle at which this photo was taken is quite good. It hardly needs any post-production modification. It already looks great. Whether it is Xiao Feifei or the little guy, their looks are impeccable. In the sunshine, the mother and daughter wearing parent-child outfits are the most dazzling ones. In addition, when Xiao Feifei smiles, she really looks like an ice beauty. To be honest, even Su Yang has to say that this photo is well chosen. Of course, Su Yang himself kept a photo of the family of three having fun together. Standing between Su Yang and Xiao Feifei, the little guy was smiling so brightly. While Su Yang was still looking at the photos, Xiao Feifei actually sent him a message. I knew you would still go and set up a stall. It's just a small swing. Besides, I'm used to it. Su Yang typed a reply. Don't disturb the little guy's rest. Don't worry, she's already asleep. That's good. Su Yang and Xiao Feifei chatted idly. Although the topic was a bit awkward, they were still able to talk about it. If it were in the past, Xiao Feifei would definitely say she was ready to go to bed within 3 sentences. But today, because of the parent-child activity, Xiao Feifei talked a little more with Su Yang. By the way, what are your plans with Boscow? What Xiao Feifei was talking about was naturally the fact that Boscow wanted Su Yang to prepare liver paste soup for a birthday banquet. Because the choice was up to Su Yang, Xiao Feifei was never sure and hardly mentioned it. Now, after thinking about it, she decided to bring up the topic again. Of course, Xiao Feifei would not force Su Yang to do something he didn't like. But she was standing from Su Yang's perspective. It can be said that Xiangxin Group has the support of the top government in Shanghai. It is definitely a company that has both money and strength. If Su Yang could satisfy Boss Gao at his birthday party, it would be a great opportunity. You know, other chefs are trying their best to get such an opportunity. Su Yang, on the other hand, took a long time to think about it. It seemed that he didn't take the matter to heart at all. In particular, Boss Gao said before leaving that if Su Yang was satisfied with his work, he would give Su Yang an extra big red envelope. For a person of this level, since it is said to be a big red envelope, it must be much more expensive than a Xiaomi SU7. You make money, get noticed, and gain fame. There is really no reason for Su Yang to refuse. Chapter 233, what does it mean to look down on others with dog eyes? This is called looking down on others with dog eyes. Sure, I'll go to Jumpin' next week. It's been a while since I took the kid out to play. On the phone, Su Yang thought for a moment and said with a faint smile, okay, then I'll send a car to pick you up. Xiao Feifei also felt relieved. You are going too? Nonsense. If I don't go, how are you going to contact Boss Gao when you arrive in Jumpin'? And do you think you don't need to prepare anything in advance? Is that so? Su Yang said in a light tone he didn't care. Then it's decided. I'll contact you then. After Xiao Feifei hung up the phone, her expression looked a lot more relaxed. She raised her arms and stretched hard. Her beautiful figure couldn't be hidden at all. Unexpectedly, Xiao Feifei has grown bigger after giving birth. It has to be said that in this regard, even if Su Yang had no credit, he had contributed a lot. On the other side, Su Yang had just finished washing up and was lying on the bed. He didn't have any other ideas. He first checked the points of the chef god system in his mind. Because there were no stalls open during the day, the food sold in the evening can only be exchanged for 600 points. That is to say, there are a maximum of 6 draws. Su Yang thought about it and decided to forget it and save it for next time. Now, because of his mastery of top-notch dishes, even cooking some ordinary dishes is no problem at all. What's more, he now sells too many kinds of delicious food at his stall. If we continue to add new varieties, it will become more troublesome. After all, every new dish requires a lot of effort in terms of purchasing the types of ingredients and preparation in advance. While it is time-consuming and laborious, the points sold are actually almost the same. Su Yang has actually given this issue serious consideration. The final conclusion is that you can choose to sell them separately. For example, you can choose to sell crystal cakes on Mondays. On Tuesdays, you can choose to sell crystal shrimp dumplings. You can choose to sell chicken tofu on Wednesday. In this way, customers don't have to eat the same flavor every day, and there will be more freshness. For Suyang, the daily preparations would be relatively easy. Of course, these things are still a little too early for Suyang at the moment. He was still able to handle the current dishes. However, if you continue to draw new dishes, you will need this kind of reasonable distribution. Lying on the bed, turning off the lights, Suyang also began to rest. The next day, the alarm didn't even go off. Suyang woke up at 4:30 on time. Although I didn't go to bed until almost 12 o'clock last night. In just over 4 hours, Suyang had recovered to his energetic state. He got up, put on his clothes, and went to the princess's room to take a look at Suinua first. The little guy is sleeping soundly. There was even a cute little baby in her arms. That was a doll that her mother Xiao Feifei had managed to forcibly capture with the help of money tactics. It can be said that Xiao Feifei's craftsmanship is not easy to come by. So, the little guy cherishes it very much and hugs the little white rabbit doll before going to bed almost every night these few days. However, just as Suyang was about to leave, he heard the little guy humming in his sleep. The saliva could even be clearly seen dripping onto the big white rabbit's face. Needless to say, I guess I'm dreaming about something delicious again. This guy, like Feng Xiaoya, is a well-deserved top foodie. Suyang smiled, a fatherly smile, then tiptoed to close the door and walked out. Today's daily routine is no different from usual. I still have to go out to buy groceries. Now that I have a new car, I don't have to ride an electric 3-wheeled motorcycle in the cold wind early in the morning. In the community, the old men and women who got up early for morning exercises saw Su Yang's new car for the first time. TSK, this is incredible. Xiao Su, are you rich? I've always said that my vision is not wrong. Su Yang is born to make money. Even if he sets up a street stall, he won't be bad. Do I need to tell you that? How can Xiao Su's stall be compared with other stalls? My goodness, every time I go there, the crowds are so huge that it's scary. Yeah, they're also street vendors. Look at Xiao Wang who sells fried skewers in the building next door. He's been doing this for 2 or 3 years, but how much money has he made? It's only enough to pay the down payment for his son's car. Stop talking. If you keep talking, won't old Zhang be so angry that he will die? Ah, I remember now. Is old Zhang still thinking about that? Isn't it? His granddaughter is actually quite good looking, and she's very young. Then he should be sulking. These neighbors have a good relationship with Su Yang, just like Su Yang's loyal fans. I don't feel jealous at all about Su Yang setting up a stall to make money and buying a car. Instead, they all felt that he deserved it. A capable man like Xiao Su has excellent craftsmanship. Even old Zhang can't stop praising him. The key is that he is also very hardworking. Although he has to pick up and drop off his 3-year-old daughter from school every day, he sets up a stall almost every morning, afternoon, and evening without fail. Sometimes, even their neighbors couldn't stand it anymore. I think Su Yang is working too hard, but what about Su Yang himself? He didn't think so at all. Every time I see you and say hello, I feel full of energy, as if I have endless strength. If a person like this doesn't make money, who will? What's more, Su Yang is also very nice to his neighbors. Not only will you be given some discounts every time you queue up to buy food, even if the children at home are really greedy, they can just go to Su Yang's house to get it. There is no problem at all. Of course, no one is the kind of person who likes to take advantage, so even though Su Yang said it's free, they will still pay. It's such a small community. If someone buys Xiao Su's things and deliberately doesn't pay, the news will probably spread in less than half a day. People of our age have to save their dignity. Who can stand this? Xiao Su, are you still selling crystal shrimp dumplings this morning? Su Yang nodded and said politely. Yes, in addition to crystal shrimp dumplings, there are also braised pork buns and green bean shaved ice. Still setting up the stall at the old place? The old place. After talking to his neighbors, Su Yang drove directly to the vegetable market. Old Lu's wife Jiang Qin, who had just returned from shopping for groceries, happened to see this extremely cool new car. She could tell at a glance that this car must be very expensive. What's going on in our community? Are there rich people coming again? Faced with Jiang Qin's question, everyone else just laughed and no one answered. Only an old lady who always loved to argue with people spoke in a straightforward manner. How could that be possible? Isn't this the Xiao Su you've always been keeping an eye on? He's setting up a stall and making a lot of money. Xiao Su? No, that's impossible. Isn't he just setting up a stall? What's wrong with setting up a stall? I heard that people can earn as much as your son earns in 4 or 5 months by setting up a stall in 1 day. Jiang Qin's face turned dark instantly. Ever since Su Yang rented a house nearby, many elderly people like Su Yang and the little cutie Su Inua very much. Many uncles and aunts even took the initiative to want to be a matchmaker for Su Yang. Logically speaking, Jiang Qin's daughter is just the right age for Su Yang. Unfortunately, the mother and daughter simply looked down on Su Yang. According to Jiang Qin, Their daughter must marry a rich man so that she can also help her brother share some of the pressure of finding a wife in the future. The neighbors were too lazy to say anything about this. It's not anyone else's fault that we couldn't see Su Yang's potential. At this moment, everyone couldn't help but feel secretly happy when they saw Jiang Qin's deflated expression. Look, what does it mean to look down on others with dog eyes? This is called looking down on people with dog eyes. Chapter 234, Sleeping? How can she sleep at her age? In order to further appreciate Jiang Qin's lost expression, the nosy aunt took a decisive step forward. She took out her cell phone, opened Douyin, and looked through the short videos about Su Yang that she had collected. Look, I told you to go online more often and watch Douyin, but you didn't listen. Now the whole world knows that Boss Su's snack stand is so delicious. Look at these people. How can Xiao Su not make money? The nosy aunt said with relish. She felt so happy in her heart, as if Su Yang was her son-in-law. Jiang Qin took a closer look at the video on her phone. Wow, there were so many people. It's like a fucking celebrity coming to a concert. The queue was so long that it seemed as if there was no end in sight. Are all of these people here to buy food from Xiao Su? What else? One day, I have to make at least several thousand yuan. The disappointment on Jiang Qin's face could not be hidden at all. No, isn't Xiao Su just setting up a street stall? Why are so many people coming here to eat? According to her estimation, with so many people, Su Yang's daily income must be at least 3,000 to 5,000. No, I have to go back and discuss this with my daughter. The situation has changed. After Jiang Qin finished speaking, she hurriedly walked towards home. The group of old men and women who stayed behind to watch the fun were speechless for a while. You deserved it. I told you to look down on Xiao Su. Do you understand now? Jiang Qin walked home quickly, not even caring about the vegetables she had just bought. As soon as he entered the room, he threw it aside and then knocked on his daughter's door in a hurry. Jiang Qin's husband just got up to go to the bathroom and said in surprise, "No, what are you doing so early in the morning? My daughter worked overtime last night and she hasn't slept for long." Sleep? How can she sleep at her age? Xiao Su is out making money again. What? I just saw it with my own eyes. Xiao Su bought a new car, you know? It's a new energy vehicle. I heard it costs more than 300,000 yuan. Is this true? Jiang Qin's husband rubbed his head, somewhat unbelieving, thinking he had not yet woken up. Really? I saw it with my own eyes. That car is so cool. It definitely can't be cheap. Xiao Su, although he is a nice person, isn't he just setting up a street stall? He has a daughter too. How can he make so much money? Jiang Qin's husband still didn't quite believe it. I didn't believe it at first, but everyone in the community said so. Jiang Qin seemed a little excited. There's even a video. In that video, there are so many people lining up for Xiao Su's stall. Now people in the community are saying that Xiao Su's guaranteed daily income is several thousand yuan. Several thousand? Impossible. Isn't that more than what people earn working in office buildings? How is it impossible? Think about it, the fried skewers vendor near us can make 700 to 800 yuan when business is good, right? I've seen his business, and there aren't many people there. He can't compare to Xiao Su at all. Jiang Qin became more and more excited as she spoke, and her voice inevitably became louder. Zhang Yi, who had been sleeping in the room, couldn't stand it anymore. She pushed open the door and said impatiently, "It's so early in the morning, not even 5 o'clock yet. What are you guys arguing about?" When Jiang Qin saw her daughter Jiang Yi wake up, she looked like she had grabbed a life-saving straw, and her whole face changed. "My daughter, listen to me." Jiang Qin's family has 2 children, a boy and a girl. The boy takes his father's surname, and the girl takes her mother's surname. Now my eldest son works outside and comes home only once every 6 months. Although Jiang Qin really wanted him to come back and see her more often, she knew very well that there was really no other way. In a place like Shanghai, it is so difficult to get married and buy a house. Even the housing prices in the outer suburbs are quite high for them. I originally hoped that my daughter could marry a local from Shanghai, but after more than a year of working, I found that there was less and less hope. Because of endless overtime work, even my skin has become much worse. The dream of becoming a rich wife is getting further and further away. Now, I know that Su Yang snack stall can be so popular. My eyes are starting to light up. I asked my daughter to search on Douyin on her mobile phone, and sure enough, there was a lot of information about Su Yang snack stand. What is this divine snack stall? What is this ceiling of the fried beef industry? What is this delicious food you have never tried before? There were even people who kept commenting at the Dragon Country on the tip of the tongue, saying that it would be a crime if this kind of delicacy wasn't on the show. Zhang Yi was even more surprised to find that she was online more frequently than her mother Jiang Qin. Su Yang is more than just famous. 80 to 90% of those internet celebrities in Shanghai have checked in at Su Yang's stall. Even being able to queue up and taste Su Yang's delicious food once is something worth being proud of and worthy of being featured in a separate issue. To be honest, Zhang Yi was a little surprised. On weekdays, she had met Su Yang several times. Although he was indeed very handsome, he was a street vendor after all. I didn't take it seriously. But who knows, some people are setting up stalls on the surface, but making a fortune in secret. Who can accept this? You know, nowadays Jiang Yi works so hard, but her monthly income is less than 6,000 yuan. In this place called Shanghai, it can be said that it is quite low. But there is no way this is all she can do. Moreover, half of the income has to be used to subsidize the family expenses, and the rest will probably be used to help my brother get married and buy a house in the future. For Jiang Yi, life is simply hopeless. Mom, what you mean is, Jiang Yi understood what the other party meant without her mother Jiang Qin even saying anything. Jiang Qin nodded, and seeing her daughter's excited eyes, she knew that the matter was 50% successful. Mom thinks Su Yang is a pretty good guy. Although he's divorced, there are so many divorces these days. But don't you still dislike him for taking care of a 3-year-old child? Jiang Qin's husband said in a gloomy tone. When did I dislike him? That little guy is so cute. If I remember correctly, his name is Su Nono, right? Her name is Su Inua. Jiang Qin's husband said unhappily. This woman in his family really does whatever she wants. Yes, the little guy is so cute. How could I dislike him? I can't even say I like him enough. Jiang Qin said as she rolled her eyes at her man and signaled him to shut up with her eyes. You have to seize the opportunity with such a good man. Mom, I know. Jiang Yi nodded. Jiang Qin then breathed a long sigh of relief. It seemed that in her opinion, this was a done deal. Her daughter is very pretty, and in fact, there are many people pursuing her at work. But my daughter and she both have very high standards. Among those people, the oldest one is just a small department manager. Especially when you are in your 30s. To be honest, not to mention Jiang Yi, even Jiang Qin was quite opposed to it. If compared with Su Yang, it is even worse. First of all, there is nothing to say about Su Yang's looks. He looks like a model. Now he finds out that he can make money. With his popularity, if he starts a Chow He live broadcast, his traffic will be maxed out. Then just use your own brand to do a live broadcast to sell goods. Family 321 Connect. This is simply making money with your eyes closed. Chapter 235 No. What does this Su Yang mean? Jiang Yi and her mother Jiang Qin are both very realistic people. Even for Jiang Yi, she knew in her heart that most of the time, she was just a tool for her family to live a better life. But in order to completely settle these entanglements, Jiang Yi still hopes to find a good man to marry. It is obvious that Su Yang is the good man. She didn't even bother to continue sleeping and resting, and got up decisively to take a shower. She dresses up and puts on makeup in the bathroom, and even picks out brand-name clothes specifically for social occasions. Before going out, I sprayed some perfume on myself. This time, Su Yang must be captured. Jiang Qin looked very happy and didn't even bother to make breakfast. It was a rare occasion for the mother and daughter to take a walk downstairs early in the morning, and they looked very harmonious. Passing through alleys, the two walked towards the fitness center at the entrance of the alley. This place is a necessary passage for entry and exit. This is the place where Su Yang meets old Zhang, and he Yongyan every time he gets up early and leaves. For some unknown reason, neither he Yongyan nor old Zhang came today. However, there is still a large number of old men and women gathered here. They were discussing Su Yang very enthusiastically. Do you know? A few days ago, Xiao Su was chased by a boss who drove a Ferrari. The boss wanted to invite him to be the head chef of the hotel, and the price he offered was 1,000,000 yuan a year. 1,000,000? That's a lot of money. I didn't expect Xiao Su to be so capable even though he looks so young. Isn't it? But I heard that Xiao Su rejected it on the spot. I understand that he has more freedom to set up a stall, especially for picking up the little ones from school. TSK. Our little Su is still conscientious. If any girl marries her, won't she die of happiness? Come to think of it, I remember that Xiao Su's landlord was also very interested in Xiao Su. Don't tell me. I've heard this more than 3 times. But it's no wonder. A man like Xiao Su, who is handsome, young, in good shape, and who cooks delicious food, looks exactly like me when I was young. Who can not love him? A group of old men and women were chatting happily, and Jiang Qin and Jiang Yi, mother and daughter, who were walking over, heard them from a distance. They took one look at each other and immediately showed their confidence in Su Yang's success. Before that, the old lady who had just confronted Jiang Qin had a speechless expression on her face. No, the sun rises from the west? It's okay for Jiang Qin. It's normal to come out early in the morning to buy groceries occasionally. When has Jiang Yi ever been seen by anyone before 9 o'clock? She came out so early today and put on such heavy makeup. Even a fool would know what she was thinking, especially the flames of desire in their eyes. If Jiang Yi's father hadn't died, I really don't know what this mother and daughter would do. Hey, isn't this Yi girl? Why are you out for a walk so early this morning? Aren't you very busy at work? Although the old lady knew everything, she pretended not to know. Isn't the air good in the morning? I want to come down and take a walk too. Jiang Yi had a smile on her face. You're just strolling around and wearing high heels? With just one simple sentence, the old lady instantly pointed out the little thoughts in Jiang Yi's heart. Black stockings with high heels and a tight skirt. Who doesn't know what she's thinking? Su Yang is not such a person. The other uncles and aunts also showed expressions of understanding. There is no way. The relationship between Jiang Qin and Jiang Yi, mother and daughter, is a little too obvious. On weekdays, I hardly even talked to Su Yang, especially Jiang Qin, who had lived in the same community for such a long time, had never bought food from Su Yang's stall since he moved in. I always think that street vendors are expensive and unhealthy, and I don't think highly of Su Yang at all. Now, anyone who sees him staring towards the entrance of the alley will find it funny. The old lady who loves to argue with people still pretended to know nothing and even revealed a very concerned tone. What are you two looking at here? Jiang Yi did not answer, but Jiang Qin replied casually. Oh, that's right. Haven't you always said that the breakfast made by Xiao Su is delicious? It just so happens that my family didn't make breakfast today, so I wanted to ask Xiao Su to buy some food to try. Then you shouldn't wait here. Xiao Su will set up a stall in front of the elementary school in a while. Then you can all line up together to buy. Jiang Qin glanced at the old lady and ignored her. Still waiting? I can't wait. Moreover, our daughter will be married to Xiao Su in the future. Is this mother-in-law going to queue up at the roadside school with you? What a joke. There was already some impatience in Jiang Qin's eyes. Fortunately, at this time, the fancy Rice SU-7 drove over at the entrance of the alley. This time he didn't stop, but drove straight to the gate of his yard. Jiang Qin and Jiang Yi, mother and daughter, looked at each other and followed. In the yard, Su Yang was preparing delicious food for today's stall. Xiao Su, Xiao Su. The sound outside the yard disturbed Su Yang. Su Yang took a look, and there was some confusion in his eyes. It's me. I also live in this community in the building behind you. My name is Jiang Qin, and this is my daughter. Oh, I see. After taking a look, Su Yang nodded lightly. My mom said that the braised pork buns you made are especially delicious. And the crystal cakes, right? I want to buy one to try. Jiang Yi also spoke at the right time. She held her voice, and her tone sounded surprisingly gentle, but people who knew her well would know that the way she spoke now was completely different from the way she usually spoke. Especially, she put on eyeshadow today, and her eyes kept blinking at Su Yang, constantly giving off sparks. Sorry, I just came back from buying ingredients and haven't started cooking yet. If you really want to eat, you can wait for me at the gate of the nearby Huaqiao Primary School in an hour. Su Yang simply ignored Jiang Yi's flirtatious eyes. Jiang Yi gritted her teeth, somewhat unconvinced. How could Su Yang not even look at her more when she was so pretty? Boss Su, can you make me one first? Fried beef noodles is fine too. That should be quick. Please. Jiang Yi spoke in a coquettish tone, while stretching her body desperately towards the yard, so that Su Yang could smell the scent of her perfume that she specially used to attract men. I'm sorry, I really can't do it now. Su Yang turned around and walked into the house without looking back. Jiang Yi and Jiang Qin, who were outside the yard, were both stunned. No, what does this Su Yang mean? Such a beautiful woman like me came to your door in person. But you rejected me so decisively? Are you still human? Chapter 236. What does this kid named Su mean? Seeing Su Yang actually walk into the room and even close the door, Jiang Yi was so angry. In the company, not only her colleagues around her, but even her department leader has hinted at it several times. I want to go on a business trip with her, and then we'll book a comfortable hotel with a big bed. Of course, the expenses must be reimbursed by the company. But Jiang Yi didn't want it at all. She had always been the one to reject others, and this was the first time she saw someone ignoring her like this. At this moment, she was extremely depressed. At this moment, the door suddenly opened again, and Su Yang walked out again, this time walking directly to the entrance of the yard. Jiang Yi's face instantly lit up with joy, and she couldn't help but secretly said, See, I told you, I'm such a beautiful lady, and I'm dressed so outstandingly today, it's impossible for him not to see it. Unless he is blind. Jiang Yi was full of confidence again, but Su Yang looked at her and then spoke lightly. Excuse me, my daughter is still sleeping in the room. Can you please leave first? It will disturb her. Jiang Yi looked at Jiang Qin beside her, and Jiang Qin also looked at Jiang Yi. The mother and daughter wanted to say something to Su Yang, but he had already walked back into the house and brought in the ingredients he had bought. What does this kid's surname Su mean? Jiang Yi was helpless. Her face looked very angry, and she said through gritted teeth, What else can he do? His daughter is sleeping. Then, what should we do? Jiang Qin couldn't make up her mind for a moment. What else can we do? Your daughter should go back to sleep now. Didn't I tell you to look for him later when the stall opens? After Jiang Yi finished speaking, she turned around and walked back. Jiang Qin didn't know what to do next. If she stayed here any longer, there would be no result, and it would just make her a laughing stock. In particular, from a distance, you can see some old men and women looking over here from time to time. That gossipy look is so annoying. Just as the two were about to leave, a white Maserati drove in. It stopped precisely at the gate of Su Yang's yard. In an instant, everyone's attention was drawn to it. Wow, Maserati! He didn't feel sorry at all for the luxury car, which was worth nearly 2 million yuan, and drove it directly into the alley. Although this alley is not narrow, it is not too wide either. It's normal to accidentally scratch such places, especially for a car like Maserati. Even a slight scratch on the paint would cost several $1,000s, right? Although Jiang Qin didn't recognize what kind of car it was at first, she could tell from its appearance that it was definitely not cheap. Zhang Yi was knowledgeable and recognized the car logo the moment she saw it. Damn, isn't this the same brand of car as the one driven by the president of his company? Maserati! After Jiang Yi told Jiang Qin's pupils were filled with shock. Wow, a luxury car worth millions. How rich must one be? In particular, this car was parked directly at the entrance of Su Yang's yard. Could it be that it was here to find Su Yang? Under their burning gazes, the door of the Maserati opened. The first thing you see is a pair of snow-white, slender legs. Just looking at this pair of legs makes Jiang Yi feel a little embarrassed. Although her legs are also very white, there is still a clear gap compared to the owner of this Maserati. In particular, after the owner got out of the car, his beautiful temperament instantly attracted her attention. The owner of the car is not only a woman, but also an exquisite and beautiful one. The ink-like black hair is long and straight, and the perfect facial features are matched with snow-white skin. In particular, she was wearing a black high-end custom-made professional suit, which matched the temperament she exuded, making her look both cool and stylish. Zhang Yi looked at that cold and beautiful face, with an expression of unwillingness on her face. The thing people fear most is comparison. The gap between her and this woman is extremely huge. Even if you just stand far away, you will feel inferior. Although you can see that the other person doesn't wear much makeup. The Patek Philippe watch on his wrist alone is estimated to be worth more than his entire net worth. How can this be compared? There is absolutely no comparison. Zhang Yi fell silent and then reluctantly unclenched her clenched fists. Even Jiang Qin didn't speak for a long time. Although in her heart, her daughter has always been excellent. But when the huge gap between them was laid out before her eyes, she had to admit it. My own daughter is a complete failure. This woman, the beautiful, rich, and pretty CEO that only appears in movies and TV dramas, couldn't be here to look for Su Yang, right? The next second, Su Yang took the initiative to walk out of the house. He glanced at the woman, and although the expression on his face did not show much joy, it looked much gentler than before. Opening the iron gate in the yard, Su Yang naturally brought the woman into the house. Sure enough, the two of them really knew each other. Moreover, it seems that the relationship is very special. Zhang Yi saw it all and felt mixed emotions. When he wanted to get close to Su Yang used the excuse that the little one was sleeping to shirk his responsibilities. But what if it's another woman now? Just open the door proactively, especially the gentle expression on his face, which Zhang Yi had never seen before. Normally, Su Yang is already handsome enough. Coupled with his soft expression like water, it is simply too charming. But this expression, Su Yang only showed it for that woman. Zhang Yi originally thought that since everyone lived in the same community, there shouldn't be such an exaggerated gap. Only now did I realize that Su Yang and I were not at the same level at all. Perhaps only a woman like that can match Su Yang. Zhang Yi felt more discouraged and helpless than ever before. Facing that noble and cold female president, she could say that she had almost no chance of winning. What's even more outrageous is that Su Yang's expression showed nothing but gentleness. In other words, even if a female CEO like this took the initiative to come to him, he wouldn't seem very excited. If it were any other man, he would have excitedly booked a hotel room long ago, right? But what about Su Yang? He seemed to be just like usual, not surprised or excited at all. Could it be that Su Yang doesn't like women? Zhang Yi shook her head frantically. It was impossible. If he didn't like women, how could he have a child? Technology today shouldn't be that advanced. Jiang Qin's expression on the side naturally wasn't much better. I'm just fighting with that woman now. How can I have any chance? I can only blame myself for being blind and not discovering Su Yang, this high-quality stock earlier. Chapter 237, it turns out that eating is a very happy thing. Why are you here? Su Yang looked at Xiao Feifei. Although she wasn't dressed very formally, it at least showed that she took it very seriously. If you don't know, you might think she came here to date Su Yang today. Nothing. Our hotel is now cooperating with Boss Gao, and there is a new opportunity, so we have a very important meeting today. Su Yang nodded and glanced at Xiao Feifei. What does that have to do with me? It doesn't matter. I'm just afraid I might faint from hunger during the meeting. Xiao Feifei forced a smile on her face, although she still looked as cold as before. But for Su Yang, who knew her from head to toe, there was still a hint of nervousness in Xiao Feifei's eyes. Is she scared? Su Yang smiled faintly and didn't say it directly, but instead said it jokingly. You can eat, but remember to pay. You don't worry, I don't need your money. An angry expression appeared on Xiao Feifei's face. This guy Suyang really has no romance at all. It was obviously not like this when the two of them first got together. At that time, he was not only very charming, but also very lustful. What time does the meeting start? Suyang doesn't care what Xiao Feifei thinks now. 10 o'clock. Got it. Then go wake the little one up, and I'll prepare breakfast. After Suyang finished his instructions, he walked into the kitchen and took out 5 bamboo boards from the steamer. Looking at the crystal clear cakes in front of me, they're just out of the steamer and are still emitting an extremely tempting sweet aroma. Just taking a sniff, it tastes so good. However, crystal cake is not something that should be eaten while hot. On the contrary, eating it when hot will greatly affect its taste. This kind of rice cake will only have a soft, sweet, and fragrant taste after it cools down. Suyang began to carefully prepare today's breakfast. The crystal steamed shrimp is definitely a must, the green bean shaved ice is already cooked, and the braised pork buns are already packed. Although these things sound complicated and each one is different. But for Suyang, he had already gotten used to it. Suyang scooped 3 bowls of cooked mung bean smoothie with a spoon, and then put them in the refrigerator. The summer in Shanghai has not yet passed, and the cold mung bean smoothie can bring a good mood to the whole day. While Suyang was concentrating on making breakfast, Xiao Feifei walked into the little girl's princess room. As soon as she opened the door, Xiao Feifei couldn't help but smile. The little guy, Su Yinhua, has the same habit of kicking the quilt when sleeping as himself. Her tender little white feet kicked away the quilt, and her 2 hands were still tightly holding the big white rabbit doll. When you get closer, you can even hear the little guy humming, as if he is eating something delicious in his sleep. Xiao Feifei rarely showed a doting and happy smile. To be honest, such an expression was rarely seen by anyone, not only the little one, but even Suyang rarely saw it. Because of her personality, Xiao Feifei will always cover herself with a layer of protection. Only when no one is around will her inner softness be revealed. Just like Suyang said, Xiao Feifei's softness is not outside her clothes or her body. Woo-woo! Xiao Feifei walked forward and gently pinched the little guy's nose. The little guy who couldn't breathe soon opened his eyes. After all, she was his biological mother, and this method of waking him up was really useful. Hey, you are. Although the little guy woke up, he was still confused. She slowly opened her eyes, raised her head, looked at Xiao Feifei in front of her, then said with a sweet smile, "It's you, rich lady." Xiao Feifei was a little confused. Bought my dad a new car with full payment. Xiao Feifei had no choice but to use the method taught by Suyang and directly gave the little guy a brain blast to help wake up his mind. Ouch, it hurts, mommy. How could you be so harsh on your little baby? The little guy covered his head. It was really painful. Now you know who I am? Xiao Feifei rolled her eyes at the little guy. I know you are my dearest and most beloved mom. After saying that, the little guy, Su Yinhua, hugged Xiao Feifei tightly and tried hard to put his little head into Xiao Feifei's big collar. You're worthy of being my mom. The little guy enjoyed it very much. Hurry up and get up. Do you want me to play it again? Xiao Feifei raised her white hand. I'll go now. The little guy reacted quickly, but he rubbed against it reluctantly at the end, then quickly got up and got out of bed. On the way to wash up, I smelled the fragrance coming from the kitchen. The little fellow poked out half of his head, his big eyes revealing a longing expression. Dad, what delicious food are you making again? Brain burst. Do you want to eat? The little guy, Su Yinhua, felt very aggrieved. Even 114,514 points aggrieved. How come I was just taking a nap? But not only did my mom bully me, but even my beloved dad wanted to hit me on the head. Is there no place for me, my little cutie, in this world? Su Yinhua had a sad face and went into the bathroom to brush his teeth and wash up. Suyang was too lazy to pay any attention to this little drama boy. The noodles in his hand had already been boiled, and he took them out and rinsed them with cold water again. Now put some minced garlic into the pot. With the sound of the minced garlic popping, the fragrance spreads instantly. Gurgle. Even Xiao Feifei, who was standing outside the bathroom watching the little guy brushing his teeth, couldn't help swallowing. When did Su Yang's pussy become so delicious? There was some confusion on Xiao Feifei's face. Especially the closer I got to Su Yang, the more I felt something was wrong. Before his divorce, Su Yang didn't have this kind of strength. But then she thought again. The food cooked by her ex-husband could satisfy even Boss Gao. What else can't be done? Xiao Feifei walked over quietly, leaned against the sliding door of the kitchen, and looked at Su Yang, who was busy inside. Although he had to take care of several dishes at the same time, his hands' movements were extremely precise. It seemed that every step was accurately predicted by him in advance. Watching Su Yang cook, you can even feel a sense of immense enjoyment. Just like him down there. In the past, Xiao Feifei rarely ate breakfast. Because I am in a hurry to attend a company meeting, coffee is more important than breakfast. In particular, since becoming the president, work pressure has led to frequent insomnia. Not to mention breakfast, sometimes I eat very little for lunch and dinner. Xiao Feifei is very aware of her body, including her weight loss and gastrointestinal discomfort. But despite her best efforts, she still had no interest in many foods. You can only drink some white porridge or something like that to nourish your body. Until the little guy Su Ino came to play and brought Su Yang's crystal cake. And that girl Fang Xiaoya secretly went to Su Yang's stall to buy fried beef noodles. Xiao Feifei's taste buds seemed to be awakened. It turns out that eating is a very happy thing. Chapter 238 Ah Chong, are you serious? I was just saying it casually. The breakfast Su Yang made was as simple as always. 3 bowls of egg noodles, 2 braised pork buns per person, and a cup of chilled mung bean shaved ice. It's really enjoyable to eat. Not to mention the greedy little cat Su Ina, even Xiao Feifei, who usually doesn't eat breakfast much, drank a big bowl of it by herself, and even drank the noodle soup. Su Yang saw it and smiled. I haven't even made you an omelet yet, and you're already eating breakfast? When Xiao Feifei left, Su Yang gave her 2 boxes of crystal cakes. If the meeting lasts too long, you can eat some of these to fill your stomach at noon. Of course, it costs money. Xiao Feifei glared at Su Yang unhappily. To be honest, when Su Yang caught up with her and stuffed 2 boxes of crystal cakes in her hands just before she left, Xiao Feifei was really a little touched. However, Su Yang's next sentence was, "Mr. Xiao, you're not going to eat a free meal, are you?" Xiao Feifei glared at Su Yang fiercely. If looks could kill, Su Yang would have been reincarnated long ago. She took out her cell phone and sent a red envelope directly to Su Yang. Is that enough? Who wants to eat your free meal? Su Yang looked at his phone. It was a red envelope of 188. He was the president after all, so he was generous. Before leaving, Xiao Feifei hugged the little guy, Su Ino, and kissed him, then walked out of the yard. He waved goodbye, got in the Maserati, and drove out of the community. After watching Xiao Feifei leave, Su Yang turned around and spoke to the little girl with a smile. Okay, let's pack up and go set up the morning stall. We can let Nuonuo be the boss for once today. I'm the boss. The little girl instantly recovered from the loss of her mother Xiao Feifei's departure, and she seemed very excited. Really? Dad, you're so nice. At the gate of Huaqiao Primary School, today is a holiday, so logically there should be fewer students and parents. But the moment Su Yang's electric 3-wheeled vehicle appeared, the students and parents who had been lying in ambush around him appeared instantly. More importantly, these people were like organized and disciplined soldiers, and they quickly lined up in an orderly manner. Su Yang blinked. Although this was not the first time he had seen such a situation, he still found it quite interesting. Boss Su, I knew you would come again today. Hey, the little one is here too. Doesn't he have to go to kindergarten today? Huh, I'm taking a day off today. I took the subway from the east side of the city to get here at 6 o'clock. If I can't eat Boss Su's food, who can? Before I left, my wife was puzzled. Why did I bring the kids to the school gate on my day off? Haha, women, they don't understand anything at all. After eating the delicious food prepared by Su Yang, these students and parents got up early even on their days off. It has to be said that for humans, there is absolutely no resistance to delicious food. As soon as Su Yang arrived, the people at the front of the line were already eager to help Su Yang set up the stall. Their movements were seamless and skillful. Obviously, this is not the first time such a situation has happened. After all, only if Su Yang sets up the stall earlier can they eat delicious food earlier. By the way, our boss today is my super cute little baby, Su Yang introduced to everyone with a smile on his face, while gently glancing at Su Inua beside him. He instantly perked up, nimbly picked up the small stool, and placed it steadily behind the table decorated with various delicacies. There was endless excitement and excitement flashing in her bright eyes. She put on the posture of a little adult and stood in front of the position of delicious food. Even Su Yang, the parent, had to step aside and be her right-hand man. Looking at the little guy with his chest held high and his head held high, looking so majestic, you have to say, it really looks like that. However, this dignity did not last long. After a few seconds, she regained her innocent smile and spoke shyly. Oh, I really can't hold it anymore. That slightly distressed look instantly melted the hearts of everyone present. As soon as she finished speaking, the customers in the queue all laughed happily. Please line up in an orderly manner. I have prepared a lot of delicious dishes for you today. There are meat buns with rich sauce flavor, crystal shrimp dumplings, refreshing green bean shaved ice, and limited edition exquisite crystal cakes. The little guy blinked his big watery eyes, looked up at the long queue in front of him, and his tone seemed quite serious. These customers just think the little guy is so adorable. This little guy is so adorable. To be honest, everyone envies Boss Su from the bottom of their hearts. Needless to say, his cooking skills are unmatched among all the street food stalls I've eaten at. I am so happy to have such a lovely and well-behaved woman now. In particular, everyone has heard that Boss Su's ex-wife is a beautiful woman with long legs. It's no wonder, otherwise the little girl Su Ina wouldn't grow up to be so cute and pretty. I can only say that Boss Su is very lucky. Hello, boss. I want 4 braised pork buns, 2 cups of green bean shaved ice, and 1 serving of crystal shrimp dumplings. Is there a limit on the number of crystal cakes? I'll just have 2. The first customer in line has already started to place his order without any hesitation. Faced with so many things, the little guy lowered his head and counted with his fingers for a long time, but still couldn't figure it out. Helplessly, he could only look to his father Su Yang for help. Su Yang smiled and said, "Boss, just sell them. I'll help you with the bill." That's great. After they're sold out, I'll give you more bonus." The little guy climbed up the pole. "Then I would like to thank you, boss." Su Yang had a doting expression on his face. "Wrong, I'm the big boss now." The little guy puffed out his chest and said with great momentum, Okay, my little cutie boss." Soon, the little guy's business began to develop in an orderly manner. Some of these customers even deliberately joked with the little guy. "I want 2 boxes of crystal cakes, 2 servings of crystal shrimp dumplings, 8 braised pork buns, and 6 cups of mung bean shaved ice." "No, uncle. Each person can only buy 1 serving of crystal shrimp dumplings, 5 servings of braised pork buns, and 3 cups of mung bean shaved ice." The little guy was pointing fingers at each other while talking. He looked so adorable. These customers also love it from the bottom of their hearts, and they wish their own children could be as cute as this little guy. Boss Su's daughter is so smart. I really want to secretly pack her up and take her away. You are talking nonsense. Last time someone made a joke like this, the little guy said he would tell Uncle Hat to catch him. Wow, I didn't realize the little guy has such a high sense of safety. Woo woo woo. Seeing Boss Su's daughter, my maternal love is overflowing. Then how about this, Shin? Why don't you consider me? Let's work together to have a baby. Chiang, are you serious? I was just saying it casually. These customers were chatting and laughing while queuing up to buy delicious food. He kept praising the little guy for his intelligence and ability. He was so young, but he could help Boss Su so much. He will definitely be a great person in the future. Chapter 239, the little guy really has a talent for business. Hey, little cutie, look what surprise I brought you today. It's a cool lollipop. A girl who was full of youthfulness and looked to be in her early 20s, holding a colorful lollipop, was gently shaking it in front of the little boy Su Inua. Thank you, sister. The little boy Su Inua's eyes instantly brightened when he saw the tempting lollipop. However, she still forced herself to suppress her inner desire and swallowed. I'm a small boss now. I'm no longer at the age where I like to eat lollipops. There was a hint of reluctance in Su Inua's eyes, but also a bit of determination. Can't the little boss enjoy the sweetness of the lollipop? The girl playfully spun the lollipop in her hand and shook it in front of the little guy again. Lollipops are for children, and I'm not a child. Su Inua puffed out his chest in a mature manner. You really don't want to try it? The girl deliberately prolonged her tone and continued to speak seductively. But I brought strawberry-flavored lollipops today. If no one helps me eat them, I'll be very upset. Well, Su Inua was obviously caught in a dilemma, and the expression on his little face was even more conflicted than that of other girls. She looked at the lollipop, then tilted her head to look at her father Su Yang standing beside her, signaling with her eyes that she wanted Su Yang to give her some advice. You are the boss today. Su Yang responded with a smile while busy stir-frying the beef noodles. Although I'm not a child anymore, my mom and dad have always said that we should help others. Su Inua seemed to have found a reason, and his eyes lit up again. Sister, is this really strawberry flavored? She carefully confirmed again. Of course, the girl assured with a smile. Finally, the little guy couldn't resist the temptation and gave in. After a while, she was happily holding a lollipop in her mouth, and you could tell how happy she was just by looking at her expression. Although you treated me to a lollipop, I still have to pay for it. The little guy suddenly remembered something, blinked his big eyes, and reminded seriously. Yes, I get it, little clever boy. The girl was also amused by the cute appearance of the little guy and laughed heartily. Then, as the little one turned around to greet the next customer, her voice became even softer and cuter. Hey, little brother, what do you want to buy? The call of little brother immediately melted the heart of the young man in front of him. In fact, he is already 25 or 26 years old now. Many times when he goes out, the kids call him uncle. At this moment, I feel so happy that I can't express it in words when such a cute little guy calls me brother. This, and this. I want one of them all. The young man was in a good mood and ordered one portion of each delicacy according to the purchase limit. In one go, I spent more than 80 yuan. Even Su Yang had to admit that the little guy really had a talent for business. Su Yang attracted many guests with his superb cooking skills, while Su Inua made the guests willingly buy more food with her lovely charm. From a certain perspective, the little guy is quite competent as the little boss. Little boss, my brother bought so many things, don't you get any discount or something? After the young man finished ordering, he teased the little guy while waiting. Brother, we are a small business. If there is a discount, Dad will have no money to buy me toys, and I won't be able to eat delicious ice cream. I can't even pay the rent. The little guy instantly turned on the acting mode, and his little face was full of worry. Besides, my dad got up early in the morning to do all this. It was so hard work. Faced with the little girl's soft words and her meticulous logical thinking ability, How could the young man be her match? Even if he said a few more words, the customers in the queue behind him would be rude to him. Dare to bully our little boss? It seems that you don't want to queue up to eat the delicious food made by Boss Sue anymore. Look at her daughter. She's already doing business at such a young age. She's really good at talking. Boss Sue, I think you should just let the little girl be the boss from now on. I think she is more suitable than you. There is really no difference without comparison. My naughty boy is currently Timmy starting at home. And look at Boss Sue's daughter. She has already started to run the household and make money. Wow, if this were my daughter, I can't even think about it. More and more customers are queuing up, and the line in front of the stall is getting bigger and bigger. Fortunately, Su Yang has skilled craftsmanship and can make the food very quickly. After all, crystal cakes, braised pork buns, and mung bean shaved ice are all made in advance, so there won't be any problems. As for fried beef noodles, customers can eat while waiting for 2 or 3 minutes and they can get their food. Now there is finally a small table next to Su Yang's stall. Although there are not many, there are only about 5 or 6 tables, but it is much better than at the beginning when everyone could only squat on the side of the road to eat. These customers queuing up are all very well-mannered, or they have already gotten used to it. Customers who have not received the freshly fried beef noodles will sit at the table and eat while waiting. When they receive theirs, they will immediately stand up and give their seat to the next customer. As for those who don't want to eat fried beef noodles early in the morning, they can just get the food and leave, which can effectively avoid congestion. Su Yang and the little one don't need to worry about things like scanning codes to pay. They even calculate the price on their phones before they tell them what food they want. Zhou Shuren once said it well, a customer who can't take care of himself is not a good customer. So, even though the little guy is still young, he can actually handle being a small boss. As long as the customers queuing in front of you don't deliberately cause trouble, everything will be in order. To exaggerate a little, even if Su Yang's stall had no boss, it would not have any impact at all. Everyone is very clear about this. If anyone messes up, we will all collectively and strictly prohibit them. After all, if I offend Su Yang and he becomes unhappy and stops setting up his stall, wouldn't I be the one who suffers then? I can't even imagine the days when I can no longer eat the delicious food Su Yang makes. In particular, many of Su Yang's fan customers queuing up are middle-aged men. As a middle-aged man, his desires for many other things have been reduced a lot. Sometimes buying yourself a delicious meal is even more satisfying than rewarding yourself directly. More importantly, if they can bring back a portion of the delicious food made by Boss Sue, they will have all day long to themselves for free time. This is more useful than giving away bags. For them, nothing is more attractive than sleeping in separate rooms at night and having some alone time. After all, your body is your own. No matter how strong you are, sometimes you really can't bear it. Chapter 240, Wasn't I Quite Capable in the Past? Taishan Lake Resort held a series of discussions on the economy, culture, tourism, and catering of Shanghai. This type of symposium is led by the Shanghai government and is held regularly every year, targeting different companies each year. Today in Shanghai, the focus is on catering businesses of all sizes. Faced with the current environmental pressure and economic downturn, the catering industry has been hit. How should the government intervene, and what are the planning guidelines for the catering industry in Shanghai for the coming year? According to previous years, the person who should have represented the entire Shanghai catering industry to speak at this kind of meeting would definitely be the head of Lin's Catering, Lin Zhongtian. This middle-aged man, who seemed to be in his 40s or 50s, had a calm expression on his face. One could tell at first glance that he was a very cunning guy. He was so confident that he even prepared his speech a week in advance. However, something unexpected happened. The person who was responsible for speaking today and sharing new, innovative ideas for catering was actually the eldest daughter of the Qiao family, Qiao Feifei. No, what virtue does this little girl have? Why does she get to give a speech? Lin Zhongtian was unhappy, but there was no change in his expression. He just glanced vaguely at the person in charge sitting at the top. This time the person in charge was sent by Qiangshan Group. Could it be that Boss Gao is really optimistic about the Qiao family? Lin Zhongtian frowned slightly, unable to figure it out. There is no reason. I gave such a big golden toad as a gift. It seems that this meeting is over. I have to go and understand the situation. Lin Zhongtian tapped the table with his fingers. For some reason, he suddenly remembered that a few weeks ago, when his daughter Lin Xian came back, she said excitedly that she would treat him to a street stall. Of course, he didn't care much about it and just pretended to agree. Afterwards, he naturally put the matter behind him. Why did he think of this matter, and what is the relationship between these two things? Lin Zhongtian shook his head slowly. He is still unclear about the situation now. But the subconscious mind suddenly recalled this matter, and Lin Zhongtian had to take it seriously. His sixth sense has always been very accurate, and he has never missed this feeling since he settled in the Magic City. I'm just a street vendor. Can I change Boss Gao's mind? At this moment, Qiao Feifei was a little nervous. To be honest, this was her first time giving a speech on stage since she left school. Of course, meetings held in a company do not count. But for a strong woman like Qiao Feifei, She will hold on no matter how difficult it is. Fortunately, the script had been prepared in advance, and all I had to do when I got on stage was to deliver it step by step. Just as she was still thinking about the content of the manuscript, a WeChat message came in. When Xiao Feifei opened it, she saw that it was a Douyin video link sent by Feng Xiaoya. She turned the volume down to the minimum, then clicked on the Douyin video with doubt. The content inside was actually the little guy Su Inua setting up a stall. I saw her skillfully packing up delicacies such as braised pork buns, crystal cakes, crystal shrimp dumplings, etc., and handing them to the customers in front of her. He kept saying something and looked like a small boss. Xiao Feifei unconsciously put on a motherly smile on her face, and then looked at the title of the video. Boss Su's stall has been replaced, and Little Boss is online today only. In an instant, Xiao Feifei understood. Does that mean that today, Su Yang deliberately let the little guy experience the feeling of being a small boss? Su Yang is just like that. He's lazy if he wants to, but he deliberately says something so nice. Xiao Feifei couldn't help but say in her heart. But even though she said that, she couldn't suppress the smile on her face at all. Average, Xiao Feifei replied to the WeChat message against her will. What do you mean? Feng Xiaoya seemed very excited. She immediately edited another message. Look at how amazing your little one is. I see thousands of comments below praising him. To be honest, Sister Feifei, aren't you jealous? Jealous? What am I jealous of? Sister Feifei, think about it. The little guy is getting more and more capable, and now he can help Su Yang set up the stall. If he can still take care of Su Yang's life in the future, then you will have no status at all. Xiao Feifei was slightly stunned. She actually felt that it was rare for Feng Xiaoya, who was always crazy, to say such sensible words. Indeed, if the little guy becomes more sensible and obedient, wouldn't my status be affected? No. It's absolutely wrong. She has already divorced that guy Su Yang. So what does it have to do with her whether it has any impact or not? Besides, wasn't I quite capable before? Well, a very capable one. Xiao Feifei blushed slightly, removed the mosaic image from her mind, and then quickly changed the subject. You should stop caring about me and take care of yourself. You are already a grown-up. I've thought it through. I won't date or get married in the future. I'll just follow our Sister Feifei every day. When Sister Feifei and brother-in-law get remarried, I'll eat and drink with you. It's so beautiful. Are you talking in your sleep in broad daylight? Xiao Feifei gave a disdainful expression. In fact, she didn't even notice it. She didn't know when it started, but when Feng Xiaoya teased her and Su Yang, she no longer felt as angry as she did at the beginning. There is even a faint hint of a little sweetness. Okay, just treat it as a daydream. But Sister Feifei, look how brave the little guy is. Don't embarrass us when you go on stage to give a speech later. Do I need you to tell me? Xiao Feifei turned off her phone, and the expression on her face returned to its initial indifference. But the difference was that she looked much more confident. The morning speech went very smoothly, and even the always arrogant Lin Zhongtian had to look at Xiao Feifei with new eyes. This woman is not as bad as people say. She is still quite capable. This meeting will last until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At noon, the venue will prepare a simple buffet for all the presidents and bosses to enjoy. Of course, although it is said to be simple, the chefs invited to prepare this buffet are actually quite talented. But even so, for these business owners who have seen big scenes, not to mention that they are all CEOs in the catering industry, these seemingly luxurious buffets are just average in their eyes. Right now, I'm just trying to save face for the organizer and eat something casually. Lin Zhongtian didn't have much appetite at noon, so he just picked up a filet steak. He saw Xiao Feifei sitting alone on the side, so he took the initiative to sit over. Xiao Feifei raised her head, glanced at Lin Zhongtian opposite her, and nodded politely. The latter originally wanted to take advantage of the meal to get some information out of Xiao Feifei. Just as he was about to speak, Lu Jiang, the owner of the Grand Hyatt Hotel, came over and spoke in a familiar manner. Boss Lin, hello. It's been a year since we last met. We should be considered old friends now, right? Lin Zhongtian looked at him speechlessly, seeing how reckless he was. It was like this last year, and it was still like this today. Sometimes Lin Zhongtian is really curious. Is the competition pressure in the domestic catering industry really so small? How come a hotel owned by such a brainless guy can last so long? What do you mean by old friends? If we meet once, we are friends. If we meet twice, we are old friends, right? Lin Zhongtian was a little too lazy to pay attention to him. Mr. Lin, I heard that your Lin's Catering recently poached a one-star dessert chef from Spain. If I remember correctly, he seems to be able to make some molecular cuisine, right? Lu Jiang talked to himself, not caring about Lin Zhongtian's increasingly dark face. I heard that molecular cuisine is quite interesting. You can use a flower pot as a vegetable dish and pour boiling water on it, and the vegetables will grow on their own. Is that true? Lin Zhongtian suppressed his temper, took a sip of coffee, and said with a polite smile, if Mr. Lu is really interested, you can come to my hotel and have a try next time. You have to eat it, but it's a little too expensive. My goodness, Mr. Lin, I went to inquire, It's the same vegetable, but you change the name and package it, and dare to sell it for $28.88. It's too profitable. Lu Jiang talked incessantly, becoming more and more excited as he spoke. I'm telling you, if you want to make money, you should learn from Mr. Lin. Lin Zhongtian tactically took another sip of coffee and remained silent. Chapter 241. Mr. Chiao. Why have I never seen this pastry of yours in the conference hall? Boss Chiao, why are you eating noodles for lunch? Lu Jiang was just a very outgoing person. When he saw Lin Zhongtian was drinking coffee and ignoring him, he immediately turned his attention to Xiao Feifei, who was eating noodles. But it's also true that the cooking skills of the chefs here are really terrible. Speaking of which, you know the Grand Hyatt Hotel over there, right? A French chef has recently come here, and the dim sum he makes is simply too delicious. If there's a chance, Mr. Chiao, could you please come and try some? Sorry, I'm not interested. Xiao Feifei was eating the noodles in the bowl without even raising her head. She is different from Lin Zhongtian. Sometimes she doesn't want to pay attention to him and really doesn't want to even look at him. Mr. Chiao, you may not know this, but when I was watching your speech just now, I felt that we were destined to be together. Did you know that? I also just got divorced not long ago. Lu Jiang didn't care about Xiao Feifei's attitude at all. He felt very good about himself and continued to talk incessantly. Mr. Lu, it seems that foie gras has just been served. It seems to be a very French dish. Would you like to try it? Lin Zhongtian interrupted him and pointed in the direction behind him. French foie gras? Where? Lu Jiang took a look at the place Lin Zhongtian pointed, and sure enough, the French foie gras that had just been served, just by looking at the seasoning on it, you could tell that this French foie gras was quite authentic. Wait a minute, both of you. Lu Jiang picked up the plate and walked straight over. After finally getting Lu Jiang away, Lin Zhongtian turned his gaze to Xiao Feifei. It is not unfair to say that Lu Jiang is weird. This person seems to be naturally outgoing. He jokes and tries to get close to everyone, as if he has no idea of the ways of the world. Logically speaking, for such a big boss, this shouldn't happen. But maybe it's just because he's the big boss that this is the case. Lin Zhongtian knows that although Lu Jiang looks a bit unintelligent, in fact, his family is quite rich. In particular, Lu Jiang is not a native of Shanghai, but an outsider like Lin Zhongtian. But the difference is that I heard that Lu Jiang has some connections with Kyoto. As for Mr. Chiao, Lin Zhongtian looked at Xiao Feifei, who was eating noodles slowly. He didn't know if it was an illusion, but he always felt that Xiao Feifei was eating the noodles reluctantly, as if the noodles were very unpalatable. Although Lin Zhongtian didn't eat it, he had sharp eyes and could see it at a glance. In front of Xiao Feifei was a bowl of authentic Yangchun noodles. Its production process is also very particular. First boil a pot of water, and when the water boils, add the noodles prepared in advance. When the noodles roll again, quickly add cold water to keep them chewy. Then, wait for the noodles to boil for the third time. Turn off the heat immediately, cover the pot tightly, and simmer for 4.5 minutes, neither more nor less. Next, add soy sauce and the best lard to add sole to the noodle bowl. Then pour in boiling water to allow the lard to melt slowly and the aroma spreads. At this time, quickly scoop out the freshly cooked noodles and put them all into the noodle bowl. Finally, sprinkle with finely chopped green onions. This is the only way to have a bowl of authentic and delicious Yangchun noodles. Lin Zhongtian just closed his eyes slightly and smelled the aroma, and he could feel that this bowl of noodles was quite delicious. But why did Xiao Feifei eat so reluctantly? He wanted to ask, but Xiao Feifei's expression was quite cold. Lin Zhongtian shook his head slowly and looked at Xiao Feifei, who was eating noodles silently. In fact, Xiao Feifei really didn't like Lin Zhongtian. I even feel that he is more annoying than Lu Jiang. This is not because Lin's catering is too dominant nowadays, but because Lin Zhongtian is more evil than he seems. Especially in China, molecular cuisine is very popular. Although Xiao Feifei does not have any particular interest in things like catering and food, as the president of the hotel, she still studies the current trends in the catering industry very seriously. This molecular cuisine first came from abroad. Because it was novel and appealing enough, there was a constant stream of customers coming to taste it at the beginning. To put it simply, they can make fruit look like meat and meat look like fruit. The main theme is guess, am I meat or fruit? Are you surprised? Are you unexpected? As for the taste, it's hard to say. Xiao Feifei had of course tried it. To her, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that delicious either. As a chef, instead of carefully studying how to make a dish, he wastes his time and energy on these fancy tricks, and finally labels them as art, flaunting his own uniqueness. This actually reveals a simple but profound truth. They actually lack confidence in the taste of their food. In particular, this so-called molecular cuisine, as Lu Jiang said, is quite expensive for ordinary people. Of course, we can also look at the bright side and say that Lin Zhongtian at least doesn't cheat the poor. If it were the Xiao Feifei of the past, she might even consider learning the marketing method of Lin's catering. After all, no matter whether it tastes good or not, the performance will not lie. When an ordinary dish is beautified by molecular gastronomy and the profit becomes 1000%. To be honest, who wouldn't be tempted? But after eating Su Yang's cooking, Xiao Feifei hesitated and finally chose to give up. Sure enough, the most basic requirement for delicious food is that it must be delicious. As for other fancy things, they will definitely not be the long-term direction for the future. Just like the bowl of plain noodles in front of you, although it looks very complicated. But the actual taste is completely incomparable to the egg noodles Su Yang made in the morning. Speaking of which, Xiao Feifei suddenly remembered that when she went out, Su Yang seemed to have given her 2 boxes of crystal cakes. Xiao Feifei took out a very ordinary plastic box from her bag. As the box was slowly opened, pieces of crystal clear, exquisite, and tempting crystal cakes were exposed to the air. Before Lin Zhongtian on the opposite side could even react, Xiao Feifei had already picked up a piece and put it into her mouth. With a gentle bite, the soft, sweet taste instantly blooms between the taste buds, as if every trace of sweetness accurately touches every corner of the senses. This crystal cake is so delicious. Sure enough, this is what food should taste like. The expression on Xiao Feifei's face was quite satisfied. Mr. Xiao, Lin Zhongtian couldn't help but speak after hesitating for a moment. It was not for any other reason, but because the unique fragrance of the crystal cake instantly attracted him. In addition to having a very accurate sixth sense, Lin Zhongtian is also extremely sensitive to the taste of food. Even just by smelling it, you can tell whether the food is delicious and how many points it can get. Just now, the moment Xiao Feifei took out the crystal cake, Lin Zhongtian's mind was filled with the sweet taste of the cake in her hand. No, where on earth did this pastry come from? Why is it so unique? To be honest, even Lin Zhongtian swallowed his saliva quietly, barely noticing it. This instinctive behavior was something even he couldn't resist. Boss Xiao, why haven't I seen this pastry of yours at the conference venue? Chapter 242. What about foie gras for crystal cake? Can it be the same? Really? This cake smells so good. Mr. Xiao, where did you buy it from? Lu Jiang showed up again at some point, with the French foie gras he had just received on his plate. However, at this moment, the carefully cooked foie gras seemed to pale in comparison to the crystal clear cake in Xiao Feifei's hand. Lu Jiang was also very curious, so he interrupted Lin Zhongtian and asked about the crystal cake in Xiao Feifei's hand. This looks delicious. It's not very delicious, it's just average, Xiao Feifei said lightly, but her hands did not stop moving at all. The taste is just so. Lu Jiang looked at Lin Zhongtian in confusion, then turned back to Xiao Feifei, who had eaten the whole piece without realizing it. It was clear that she didn't finish the bowl of authentic plain noodles in half a day, but she couldn't stop eating the exquisite pastries piece by piece and bite by bite. Even a fool would know that this pastry tastes absolutely special. In particular, Lin Zhongtian's eyes even revealed that he wanted to taste it. Lu Jiang knew very well that Lin Zhongtian had very high requirements for catering. In the entire venue, even Xiao Feifei ate several mouthfuls of plain noodles. Only Lin Zhongtian had not eaten a single bite of food so far. One can imagine how abnormal his demands on food are. Even Lin Zhongtian is interested in this food, and now you say it's not tasty? However, what Lu Jiang found strange was that the box that Xiao Feifei used to put the cakes was made of plastic, and it felt quite cheap. This kind of box is definitely not what a high-end store specializing in selling snacks and desserts should have. In fact, it looks more like the ones sold at street stalls. Roadside stalls? Impossible. Would the daughter of the Chow family like roadside stalls? This isn't a domineering CEO novel, or a love story about a rich CEO's daughter meeting a poor boy on the street. Mr. Chow, what is the name of this pastry? It looks quite unique. Lu Jiang couldn't help swallowing. Crystal cake. Xiao Feifei's tone was still very cold. To be honest, she didn't like being disturbed while eating, especially with 2 men staring at her. It felt weird. But the entire venue is not too big at the moment, so it's good enough to have a corner where you can sit quietly. There are more people in other places, and they're always talking about business interests. Xiao Feifei frowned just by looking at it from a distance. Crystal cake? I have heard of ice crystal cake. I bought it several times in Kyoto before, but the taste was pretty average. Lu Jiang expressed his opinion, and then looked at Lin Zhongtian, who didn't even look at him. I can't believe that in this day and age, there are still people who can make such authentic crystal cakes. Lin Zhongtian finally spoke. Mr. Lin, from what you said, you have eaten it before? Lu Jiang asked curiously. When I was young, I was lucky enough to visit a century-old shop in Jiangsu and Zhejiang and eat this kind of pastry. But Lin Zhongtian hesitated slightly. Then his eyes fell on Xiao Feifei's hand opposite him. The other party was ready to eat the 3rd piece of crystal cake without any hesitation. There are only 5 pieces in a box of crystal cakes. How come she ate 3 pieces by herself? Logically speaking, Lu Jiang and I have been looking at it for a long time. So Mr. Qiao should at least be polite and ask them if they want to taste it, right? In other words, forget about Lu Jiang, he's an idiot, but I'm different. As the head of Lin's catering, I can't even eat a piece of your crystal cake. Lin Zhongtian could only swallow his saliva silently as he smelled the sweet fragrance wafting towards him. Now he even felt a little regretful. Why did he have such a sensitive sense of smell? Right now I am suffering. In fact, Xiao Feifei had noticed a long time ago that both Lu Jiang and Lin Zhongtian spent most of their time looking at the crystal cakes in their hands. However, she was not full for lunch to begin with, and the plain noodles did not taste as good as Su Yang's egg noodles. Secondly, although she had 2 boxes of crystal cakes, she had spent money on them. Su Yang, this stingy guy, even asked me to scan the code to pay the bill before leaving. He only cares about money and not people. Although I don't have much relationship with him now, Lu Sun once said, husband and wife once a day are bound by 100 days of grace. Me and Su Yang, that's more than just one day. 1,000 days wouldn't be too much. Xiao Feifei blushed slightly. It's been 1,000 days. How much grace would that be converted into? In the end, he actually calculated the money with me. He is simply not a human being. Thinking that she had to share something with others because it was something she bought with her own money, Xiao Feifei became even more reluctant. However, although she thought so in her heart, seeing that Lu Jiang and Lin Zhongtian were staring at her and refused to leave, no matter how thick-skinned she was, she couldn't do what Su Yang did. Boss Lu, Boss Lin, I saw the box here. Would you like to try it? Good, good. The speed at which they spoke in unison almost scared Xiao Feifei. No, these 2 people in front of us are, after all, presidents of 2 large companies. Especially Lin Zhongtian, the boss of Lin's restaurant. How come he seems like he has never seen the world? It's just a box of crystal cakes. Why are you so excited? Su Yang sets up a stall to sell this stuff every day, and passersby enjoy eating it every day. Xiao Feifei was a little confused. When Lu Jiang saw Xiao Feifei open the bag and take out another box of crystal cake, he immediately handed the plate to her. Boss Xiao, this is French foie gras. I haven't even tasted a bite of it. Oh, the plate is new too. Lu Jiang's meaning is very clear. I will exchange foie gras for your crystal cake, and no one will lose out. Lin Zhongtian was not like Lu Jiang, who exchanged foie gras for crystal cake. How the hell could they be the same? Not to mention anything else, just by looking at the appearance of foie gras and crystal cake, you can tell who is taking advantage of whom. Although this foie gras is a typical French recipe, unfortunately the chef's experience is not enough and many details are not done well. It can be said that even with top quality ingredients, the result is really disappointing. In contrast, the crystal cake that Xiao Feifei took out, although the packaging box was a bit simple, the cake inside was crystal clear and flawless. The 4-centimeter square pieces look like works of art just by looking at their appearance. If the taste wasn't so tempting, I would probably have to struggle for a long time before even taking a bite. How can such a delicacy be compared with mere foie gras? Xiao Feifei brought the crystal cake and the box to the table, and then pushed them in front of the 2 of them. Boss Lin, Boss Sun, please give it a try. Chapter 243. If you offend me, Lin Zhongtian, will your Xiao family have a good ending? Lu Jiang and Lin Zhongtian had been patient for a long time, and now after getting Xiao Feifei's consent, they couldn't wait to reach out their hands. This crystal cake? Oh my god, the taste. When the first bite lightly touched the tip of their tongue, their eyes instantly lit up with surprise, as if lit up by some mysterious power, and they were both intoxicated by this sudden, delicious miracle. Lin Zhongtian was better off, trying his best to restrain himself, but the inadvertent curve of his lips still revealed his inner excitement. As for Lu Jiang, he had completely let down his guard. His face was filled with childlike innocence and joy, and his happiness was like brilliant fireworks, blooming on his face without reservation. The texture of the crystal cake is soft and glutinous with an indescribable delicacy, like the morning dew in early spring, melting at the touch and dancing lightly in the mouth. The sweetness is not overly strong, but just right to tease every taste bud, sweet but not greasy, just like a wind chime swaying gently in the summer breeze, crisp and pleasant, reaching straight to the heart. What is even more amazing is that it is icy like a clear mountain spring with a hint of coolness, but not so cool that people feel the slightest chill. Instead, it is just the right amount of refreshing to lift people's spirits. The slightly sweet but non-sticky taste allows you to enjoy it without having to worry about the sticky discomfort, leaving your mouth full of freshness and pleasure. This unique dual taste is as silky and cool as ice cream, and cleverly combines the mellowness and rice aroma of rice cake. The 2 are intertwined to create an unprecedented taste experience, as if embracing the tranquility of winter and the vitality of spring in the hot summer. What is even more memorable is that after chewing it gently, a light fruity aroma quietly blooms. It is the purest taste of nature, as if you can smell the fresh air in the forest, mixed with the sweetness of osmanthus honey and honey, with a long aftertaste. Is this really the taste of the crystal cake in my memory? Lin Zhongtian was a little confused. For a moment, even my brain was unable to process. When he was in Jiangsu and Zhejiang, even the so-called century-old brand couldn't make food with this taste. Although Lu Jiang had never eaten crystal cake before, he could still tell whether it was delicious or not. To be precise, this crystal cake can no longer be considered delicious. Instead, it should be called super delicious. To be honest, Lu Jiang seldom eats desserts, and he also rarely eats things like pastries. He doesn't particularly like this sweet taste. But the crystal cake in front of him broke his inherent perception of cakes. Although it is still very sweet, it is not greasy at all. The taste is rich and layered, and the wonderful feeling is even more exciting than meeting a pair of sister anchors I just met. It can be said that all the pastry delicacies I have eaten before are not as good as the crystal cake in front of me. Lu Jiang swallowed and prepared to reach out for the second piece. Xiao Feifei had already quickly taken back the crystal cake and the box. Sorry, this is my lunch, Xiao Feifei said lightly. Lu Jiang stared at Xiao Feifei, his eyes lingering on the crystal cake in her hand reluctantly. No, Mr. Xiao, we have such a good relationship. You can't. We just met today, Xiao Feifei said in a cold tone, not giving the other party any chance. Lu Jiang had no choice but to turn his expectant gaze to Lin Zhongtian. I can't be the only one making a fool of myself, right? Why don't you say something? Lin Zhongtian's expression was very serious. He coughed twice and then remained silent for several seconds, as if he had finished preparing himself mentally. Well, Mr. Lin, look. Sorry. Xiao Feifei interrupted Lin Zhongtian directly. A rare hint of embarrassment appeared on Lin Zhongtian's originally serious face. This expression did not appear during the meeting this morning when he found out that it was not him who was going to give the speech. Mr. Qiao, you just need to let me taste one more piece. I will ask the chef in our store to make a few boxes for you later. Lin Zhongtian changed his words. Lu Jiang looked confused. No, Mr. Lin, you can't play it like this. What do you mean I only need to give you one piece? What about me? And there are many chefs who make dim sum in my hotel. Lu Jiang looked at Xiao Feifei and said very sincerely. Here, Mr. Qiao, if you give me another piece of crystal cake, I will have my pastry chef go directly to your house and make pastries for you in person. You can choose any style, whether Chinese, Western, French, or European. They can make it. I don't need it. Xiao Feifei didn't give Lu Jiang any face. We weren't familiar with each other to begin with. Besides, which hotel doesn't have those dim sum chefs he mentioned? Such ships are not tempting at all to Xiao Feifei. Seeing that Xiao Feifei was completely unmoved, Lu Jiang could only stand there awkwardly. Lin Zhongtian really didn't expect that Xiao Feifei would not give him any face at all. After all, the Lin family is now the dominant player in the catering industry in Shanghai. Anyone who works in the catering industry would give the Lin family a little face. Yes, in the past, your Xiao family was considered to be a wealthy and powerful family. But these years, things are no longer the same as before. If you offend me, Lin Zhongtian, will your Xiao family have a good ending? Of course I know that your Xiao family has found Boss Gao as a backer, but that's only because Lin Zhongtian, asked you to. You can't even bear to part with a piece of crystal cake? You simply don't take yourself seriously. Mr. Qiao, how about this? You tell me which store to buy this crystal cake from, and I'll ask my secretary to get it now. Is that okay? Lu Jiang swallowed his saliva reluctantly. He bought it while setting up a stall. As for the location, he seldom sets up his stall in a fixed place. Xiao Feifei thought for a moment, then answered seriously. Setting up stalls? Or setting up stalls randomly? No. Even though the packaging of your crystal cake is very low-end, it is actually sold at a roadside stall. Both Lu Jiang and Lin Zhongtian were somewhat surprised. I originally thought that this packaging was done intentionally by a famous pastry shop, just for the sake of publicity. After all, when all the pastries in the store are packaged in high-end packaging, a package that is not so high-end will stand out. It can be said that Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang are quite knowledgeable about this kind of marketing method. But now, Xiao Feifei actually said that this crystal cake was really bought from a roadside stall. This immediately made the two of them completely unable to do anything. Especially Lin Zhongtian, he couldn't say a word for a long time. After all, he has stirred up a new wave in the Shanghai catering industry. How can he be considered a celebrity? However, he even found it difficult to accept such an outrageous thing for a while. Setting up a stall? Are you serious? Chapter 244. Is it necessary to eat this crystal cake? Faced with the surprise and confusion of Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang, Xiao Feifei just nodded lightly. Su Yang has been setting up stalls everywhere, every day. Is there anything strange about this? Xiao Feifei didn't quite understand, but was too lazy to say anything. She didn't stop moving, and soon, she had finished the box of crystal cake in front of her. Seeing that Xiao Feifei was not satisfied with the first box of crystal cake, she reached out for the second box of crystal cake. Because Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang had already eaten one piece each. So there were only 3 pieces of crystal cake left in the second box. Xiao Feifei picked up a piece of crystal cake. The cake crust was crystal clear, like a beautiful jade, which made people love it. What's even more outrageous is that the sweet aroma emitted by the crystal cake is simply irresistible. Anyway, Xiao Feifei couldn't resist this kind of temptation at all. Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang, who were sitting opposite each other, swallowed their saliva repeatedly. There was an expression in his eyes like a pervert. To put it simply, it could be described in 2 words. I want to eat. But the problem is that both of them have already tried it. Especially Lin Zhongtian, he didn't care about his face at all, just to have a bite of crystal cake. For him, this was already quite humble. But what about Xiao Feifei? That means he doesn't give any face at all. Lin Zhongtian couldn't just be unreasonable and just snatch the thing away, right? If that gets out, it would be truly embarrassing. Speaking of snatching, Lin Zhongtian glanced at Lu Jiang on the side and felt very puzzled. Mr. Lu, why don't you just take action and grab it? If you don't grab it now, Xiao Feifei will eat it all by herself. Moreover, directly robbing would not cause any negative impact on Lu Jiang. It can even be said that it fits his personality very well. By then, wouldn't Lin Zhongtian be able to take advantage of the situation? No, it's more like taking advantage of the situation. What Lin Zhongtian didn't expect was that Lu Jiang's thoughts at this moment were exactly the same as his. Also waiting for General Lin to take action first. The result was that the two of them just stared at each other, watching Xiao Feifei getting one piece after another, and they couldn't stop at all. Finally, when the two saw that there was only one piece of crystal cake left in the box, Lu Jiang couldn't bear it anymore. He wiped the saliva that he couldn't control from the corner of his mouth and stretched out a palm. Mr. Qiao, wait a minute. I see you've almost finished eating, but I haven't eaten much yet. Well, I'll pay you 20,000 yuan for your crystal cake. After all, it is Lu Jiang, Mr. Lu. Even Lin Zhongtian was stunned. In the past, people always said that stupid people with a lot of money are stupid people with a lot of money. Now he finally saw it for real. There's nothing wrong with spending money to buy it. But what the hell do you mean by raising the reserve price to 20,000? Is this thing made of gold? Lin Zhongtian was speechless. He glanced at Lu Jiang, who glanced back at him with great pride. In an instant, Lin Zhongtian understood. This offer is directed at myself? Lin Zhongtian took a deep breath. Now that he knew the other party's thoughts, as the boss of Lin's catering, he had absolutely no reason to back down. Otherwise, if word gets out, wouldn't it mean that their Lin family is inferior to the Lu family? Lin Zhongtian, definitely didn't waste money just because he was craving for a piece of crystal cake. This is all for the Lin family's face. I'll offer 30,000, Lin Zhongtian said coldly. Xiao Feifei didn't know what to say. 50,000, Lu Jiang didn't hesitate at all, and even looked at Lin Zhongtian provocatively. 80,000, Lin Zhongtian remained calm. 100,000, Lu Jiang was determined to get this last piece of crystal cake. 120,000, Lin Zhongtian's face was a little gloomy. 120,000 for a piece of crystal cake, Mr. Lin? You are really rich. Lu Jiang hesitated for less than 3 seconds, and then immediately raised the price. 150,000. As Lu Jiang spoke, everyone else in the venue was attracted. What's going on? Isn't this a buffet? When I came here, I'd already paid the membership fee. Why is it that Mr. Lu Jiang has started to quote prices now? What kind of madness is this? Many bosses came over after hearing the noise. After understanding the situation a little, everyone looked incredulous. No, Lu Jiang is crazy, right? He offered 150,000 for a piece of crystal cake. I think they're more than crazy. They are hopeless. If they spend 150,000 yuan on cakes, they can fill up their garage. That's hard to say. I heard that Mr. Lu's family has more than 10 garages. Is that so? Then just ignore what I said. I really don't understand. You say Lu Jiang is crazy, but he is just like that. Is à nouveau riche. The building over Shampoo River used to belong to them. Later it was demolished, and they lost a lot of money. What is Mr. Lin doing? Is he crazy about this crystal cake? You say, is it possible that the crystal cake is just a code, for example? They are actually trading something else? Is jargon right? What you said makes sense, but the question is, what kind of thing is worthy of Mr. Lin's quotation? And it's such a high price. How should I know? A group of people stood behind and started talking in a noisy manner. It was hard for Xiao Feifei not to hear it. These people even make it seem like they're doing some shameful business. Why can't you believe it? It's really just a piece of crystal cake. Xiao Feifei frowned, knowing that no matter how much she explained, it would be useless. Whether it is Lu Jiang or Lin Zhongtian, at this stage, neither of them will give in. She thought for a moment before speaking. Okay, no need to continue quoting. Just divide this last piece between the two of you. Oh, and I don't want any more. Just pay me 100,000 each. When Xiao Feifei said the last sentence, her heartbeat quickened. Although there was no expression on his face, he was just forcing himself to look calm. Sure enough, she still couldn't be as thick-skinned as Su Yang. Xiao Feifei was very confident that if Su Yang was present at the scene, he would be able to watch the two people continuously bidding without getting embarrassed or out of breath, and would accept the highest bid with peace of mind. After all, he even cheated me out of $300,000 in one go. If we can get back 200,000 from Lu Jiang and Lin Zhongtian right now, it will be considered a bit of recovery. This deal is worth it. After Xiao Feifei finished speaking, it was Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang's turn to hesitate. Indeed, I didn't think so much when I made the quotation just now. But now that I've calmed down a little, I realized that I was a bit impulsive before, especially Lin Zhongtian, who was always calm and experienced. But for some reason, he lost his mind in front of a mere piece of crystal cake and did such an outrageous thing. Is it necessary to eat this crystal cake? Lin Zhongtian thought for a long time and finally came to a conclusion in his mind. He really had to eat this crystal cake. Okay, I promise you. All the onlookers were stunned. Is Lin Zhongtian crazy? 100,000 yuan to buy crystal cake? Especially only half of it. What the hell? This is not the way to spend a lot of money. Before everyone could recover, Lu Jiang spoke. I agree, 100,000 is 100,000. Mr. Chiao is straightforward. Now these bosses who just want to watch the show can no longer accept this. And their brains are even a little confused. No, they asked you to spend 100,000 to buy half a piece of cake. And after that, you took the initiative to thank them? Are these two people really big business bosses? Could it be that he was possessed by a black magic? It's really outrageous. Chapter 245, Mr. Chiao. How could you do such a thing? Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang looked at each other and agreed tacitly. 100,000 is 100,000. Just 100,000 in exchange for a piece of crystal cake. It's worth it. In particular, there is no need to continue to bid higher. To be honest, both of them felt like they were being held back by the other just now. Right now, it would be best to split it equally, half for each person. Seeing that the two had no objection, Xiao Feifei took the knife and fork and cut the last piece of crystal cake in front of her into two. Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang each took half a piece, put it to their mouths, and ate it. The taste is sweet and delicious, lingering on your lips and teeth. This incomparable sense of satisfaction fills you up again. Seeing that Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang both had expressions of irrepressible satisfaction on their faces, the onlookers around them also became a little curious. Could it be that they really just bid hundreds of thousands for a piece of crystal cake? Oh my god, the Lin and Lu families are so rich. No, I think the Xiao family is the best. They sold a small crystal cake for 200,000 yuan. This kind of small thing must be sold for hundreds of yuan a day. The profit, I dare not even think about it. It's more profitable than being a smuggler. My head is suddenly buzzing. It seems that there might be some expert helping the Xiao family behind the scenes. It seems that we should pay more attention to it. That's right. After discussing for a while, everyone left consciously when they saw that there was nothing else. After all, when it comes down to it, at this meeting, the most prestigious and largest hotels are the Xiao family, the Lin family, and the Lu family. Oh, and there's also the He family. But unfortunately for some reason today, the old man He Yongnian suddenly said he couldn't come. Everyone has gotten used to that old guy. We always guess that he is planning something big. I just don't know if it's really big news or just a big mess. Xiao Feifei has already received the transfers from Lu Jiang and Lin Zhongtian. I looked at the text messages and saw 2 bank transfer records of 100,000 renminbi. To be honest, I would be lying if I said I was unhappy. When did making money become so easy? Although 100,000 is nothing compared to Xiao Feifei's wealth. But it's too easy to make money this way. Just a piece of crystal cake left over can be sold at a sky-high price of 200,000. In particular, one of the victims was not the big boss, but Lin Zhongtian. Lin's catering, this huge monster that Xiao Feifei once thought was impossible to resist. But now, she actually felt that it was not as scary and mysterious as before. Even Xiao Feifei thought that even she could handle it. Why does this illusion occur? Xiao Feifei shook her head and thought about it carefully. After a long time, she finally couldn't help but send a message to Su Yang. Su Yang, I just sold your crystal cake for 200,000. Oh yes, it's $1 and 200,000. Xiao Feifei did not forget to emphasize. Su Yang, who was busy at the time, was also stunned when he saw the news. Know what's going on? A piece of crystal cake sold for 200,000? Isn't this more exaggerated than selling 3 bowls of liver paste soup for 300,000? After all, on average, a bowl of liver paste soup only costs 100,000. No, isn't that how all these rich people spend their money? They don't take money seriously at all? To be honest, Su Yang couldn't quite believe it. However, since Xiao Feifei sent it to her on her own initiative, there was no need for her to lie to herself. Su Yang picked up the phone and quickly replied to the message. Boss Xiao, how could you do such a thing? I think it's not good for you to do this. It disrupts the market price. If you encounter such a sucker in the future, let me do it. I can bear it. When seeing Su Yang's message, Xiao Feifei couldn't help but smile. Even Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang, who had just finished eating crystal cake, were a little puzzled. She shouldn't be laughing at the two of us, right? It doesn't look like it. But why are you smiling so happily? Lin Zhongtian looked at Xiao Feifei. Since this meeting, Xiao Feifei has always been very good at managing her facial appearance. Even when he was giving a speech on stage, there was no sign of any problem at all. It can be said that the iceberg beauty is no more than this. But now, why is Xiao Feifei smiling so brightly? Lin Zhongtian couldn't guess the reason, but at this moment, he and Lu Jiang looked at each other. There was a hint of regret in both of their eyes. Probably to reward myself for the future Sage Mode stage. I was careless just now. There is no problem in buying half a crystal cake for 100,000 yuan, but the problem is that the two of them didn't even ask Xiao Feifei where she bought it. Even if it's a roadside stall, even if it's placed randomly, there should at least be some clues, right? They can't just continue to give Xiao Feifei 100,000 yuan next time they want to eat, right? Wouldn't that make it me, Xiao Feifei, crystal cake, 100,000? Transfer money? No matter how rich two people are, it's not like this. Especially, how can a piece of crystal cake be enough? Lin Zhongtian gave Lu Jiang a slight look with his eyes, and his meaning was very clear. While Xiao Feifei is happy, why not quickly ask who the master who built the Crystal Palace is? Although Lu Jiang knew that he was being used as a tool, he couldn't help but be really greedy. Well, Mr. Xiao, Mr. Lin, and I would like to ask, who is the master craftsman who makes the crystal cake, and if there is any contact information? Although Lu Jiang took the initiative to speak, he still pulled Lin Zhongtian into the conversation. Master? Xiao Feifei, who had just recovered from her joy, was slightly stunned. This was the first time she heard such an unfamiliar name. Logically speaking, Su Yang is less than 30 years old now, so he can't be called a master, right? Xiao Feifei rolled her eyes slightly and regained her composure to think. I'm sorry, this old master is really random. I don't really know. Don't you have a phone number? No. Xiao Feifei replied calmly with decisiveness. It wasn't that she intended to deceive Lin Zhongtian and Lu Jiang, but Xiao Feifei was not stupid. There was a burning desire in Lu Jiang's eyes. It was obvious that as long as he told Su Yang's contact information, he would set off immediately. At that time, whether he pesters Su Yang or directly lives in Su Yang's community, it will be a very routine operation for him. As for Lin Zhongtian, his calm expression did not show any particular desire. But the more this happened, the more vigilant Xiao Feifei became. After all, Lu Jiang is a straightforward person, but Lin Zhongtian is different. In fact, Xiao Feifei doesn't quite agree with some of his current practices and ideas in the catering industry. It is hard to imagine what such a person would do if he found Su Yang and learned that the other party just wanted to set up a stall. No matter what, both families are still competitors of their Qiao family. It's reasonable for me to protect Su Yang myself, right? There is absolutely no way it could be due to any other reason. Xiao Feifei bit her red lips lightly, very sure. Chapter 246. Kimchi. I've been thinking about your kimchi-like thing all day long. On Su Yang's side, the little guy Su Inua started taking a nap after lunch. Being a small boss for a whole morning was very interesting, but also very tiring. There is no way, according to her own words. No must be a responsible and good boss. After setting up the stall for an hour and a half, the little guy sold out all the delicious food prepared by Su Yang. Su Yang did a quick calculation, and it was about 16,000. Originally, this number was pretty good. Even in the news broadcast, it was considered one of the best-selling stalls. However, the message sent by Xiao Feifei was really a bit inhumane. The little guy and I set up a stall early in the morning, but we only earned less than 20,000 yuan. But Xiao Feifei was different. I sold the crystal cake to her for about 20 yuan, and she sold it for 200,000 yuan. Especially, it's still sold for 200,000 yuan apiece. These days, it is more reliable to chance upon a big fat sheep than to do business honestly. If there is something more reliable, it must be that we met two big fat sheep. Su Yang also smiled helplessly. There's no way. Who made Xiao Feifei the president of Xiao's 5-star hotel chain? I heard that those who attended the meeting were all well-known restaurant bosses in Shanghai. Perhaps the main feature of these people is that they are rich and willful. Su Yang didn't think much about it. Outside the courtyard, the owner of the disposable tableware store in the vegetable market had already brought the lunch boxes that Su Yang had ordered today and the ingredients he needed. They scanned the code to pay, and Su Yang also took out a few boxes of crystal cakes to give to the other party. Although door-to-door delivery is a voluntary act for big customers like Su Yang still doesn't want to treat him too badly. The disposable tableware boss naturally did not make a scene with Su Yang. Not only does he like to eat this crystal cake, but his wife and children also like it. But what he didn't know yet was, if these crystal cakes made by Su Yang were sold in the right place, they could be sold for 200,000 yuan each. In other words, he ate tens of thousands of dollars with just a small bite. If the boss knew about this, wouldn't he regret it to death? Although his whole family likes the delicious food cooked by Su Yang. But their store can't make that much money even in a year. If I could sell it, that would be great. It's a pity that they don't know. The crystal cake that Su Yang casually gave away had a completely different value in Xiao Feifei's hands at noon today. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the little guy finally woke up. She washed her face and trotted to the yard. At this moment, Su Yang has already prepared all the ingredients for the stall in the afternoon. Compared to the morning, braised pork buns are not necessary, but twice-cooked pork, chicken tofu pudding, and imperial chicken wings must be prepared. It took a full 2 hours, and by the time Suyang had everything ready, the little guy was in place. "Dad, your little boss is ready?"